Chapter 828. The illusory demon soul had reached the Saint Realm, and its soul power was extremely powerful. With its soul power, even a human Saint Realm expert could be affected by its illusions. Yang Wu hadn't reached the Saint Realm, but his fighting soul had the ability to fight. This was something the illusory demon soul couldn't compare to. No matter how powerful the soul power was, it was useless if it couldn't unleash its strongest power. The illusory demon soul's attack was too simple, and it could only create illusions. It was completely ineffective in front of Yang Wu's soul eyes. The two souls collided continuously, and neither could do anything to the other. Yang Wu unleashed Zhenwu boxing, wanting to destroy the illusory demon soul. The illusory demon soul continuously slapped out illusory palms, using strange illusions to attack Yang Wu. The soul power of the Saint Realm still had the upper hand. Yang Wu's fighting soul was forced back, and his attack couldn't effectively hit the illusory demon soul. "I want you to become this saint's puppet," the illusory demon soul sneered. "If the soul-suppressing pot was here, I would kill it directly," Yang Wu thought to himself. In the next moment, his fighting soul split into three, and the three fighting souls attacked at the same time. With 3 against 1, the illusory demon finally felt the pressure. Its saint soul power didn't have a strong attack power, and it couldn't continue to fight. Not only that, Yang Wu's real body was still building a fire field, trying to seal this place with blue enchantress, not giving the illusory demon a chance to escape. The illusory demon was very alert. After it couldn't take down Yang Wu, it decisively retreated. Yang Wu's soul eyes shone brightly, and a soul light shot toward it. Soul Extinguisher. The illusory demon was hit by the soul extinguisher's power, and its soul power was destroyed, and it let out a scream. Yang Wu withdrew his fighting soul, and quickly headed in the direction where the illusory demon's soul disappeared. Along the way, he encountered continuous attacks from the illusory crystal people and some of the dead Ice Clan. These people had all become the illusory demon soul's puppet. They were very powerful, and together they could kill a half-saint. "I have a plan to defeat the enemy. What's the use of more?" Yang Wu laughed disdainfully, and the power of his soul eyes continued to attack. Soul Arrow. Yang Wu condensed his soul power into arrows and shot them toward the glabella of the ice puppets. These ice puppets were all controlled by the illusory demon. As long as the other party's controlling power was broken, these puppets would lose their attacking power. The illusory crystal people were afraid of fire. Under the burning of blue demoness, they quickly collapsed. Yang Wu forcefully barged into the territory of the illusory demon clan's nest. It was an ice cave. In front of the cave stood 2 giant fantasy crystal men and many puppets of the Ice Clan and alien races. Each of these puppets used to be powerful when they were alive. There were more than 3,000 of them, which was a formidable puppet army. The illusory demons were all hiding behind the puppet army. Their bewitching eyes were staring at Yang Wu, filled with intense hostility. Ziyu was also in the puppet army. She was full of life and hadn't died. She had been planted with an illusory seed and was considered a living puppet. Yang Wu faced this kind of situation, but he wasn't afraid at all. He looked at an old illusory demon sitting on the shoulder of an illusory crystal man and said, "Release my woman and I'll leave. Otherwise, I don't mind destroying this place." "Little bastard, your tone is too big," the illusory demon saint angrily scolded. "I can come here. Do you think I don't have the ability?" Yang Wu walked step by step towards the illusory demon saint. His entire body gave off a courageous aura. "If you come any closer, I'll erase her soul first." The illusory demon saint pointed at Ziyu and said in a stern voice. Yang Wu stopped and faintly said, "If she dies, you'll be buried with her. Do you really want to do this?" The illusory demon saint's intelligence was extraordinary. It felt that Yang Wu's threat was not false. Its eyes flickered as it said, "If I return her to you, will you really leave?" There weren't many illusory demons and their reproductive ability wasn't strong. The illusory demons here were the hope of their clan. If they continued to die, they would probably be exterminated. The illusory demon saint backed down. Yang Wu lightly smiled and said, "Of course. This heavenly king's promise is worth 1,000 gold. I will definitely not go back on my word." "All right. If you dare to go back on your word, this saint will do everything in my power to keep all of you here." The illusory demon saint decided to compromise. In the next moment, it withdrew the illusory seed that was planted in Zhu's mind. Zhu quivered. Her face first revealed a blank expression. Then, her gaze landed on Yang Wu. She revealed a pleasantly surprised expression and called out, "Big Brother Wu?" She still couldn't believe what she was seeing. "Slug, quickly come to my side." Yang Wu's soul eye had been watching Zhu the entire time. He saw that the illusory demon saint didn't act shamelessly and withdrew the illusory technique that it had planted on Zhu. She was awake. Zhu glanced at the situation around her. Then, she turned into a purple bolt of lightning and swept towards Yang Wu. "Big Brother Wu, let's go. There are many illusory demons here. They know illusory techniques and are hard to defend against," Zhu reminded. She returned to Yang Wu's side and wanted to pull him away. Instead, he pulled her and said, "Yu, don't be afraid. You're fine now. They won't attack us anymore." Zhu was stunned for a moment. Then, she seemed to have thought of something. She calmed down and gently nodded and said, "Listen to Big Brother." She leaned against Yang Wu's side. She only felt an unprecedented warmth. He had really appeared by her side. This shouldn't be an illusion, right? Zhu gently pinched the soft flesh on Yang Wu's waist. Yang Wu grimaced and said, "It hurts. Stop pinching. This isn't an illusion." "Really? That's great." Zhu cheered. She hugged Yang Wu's tiger waist and leaned her head on his shoulder. Her face was filled with happiness. She ignored everything around her. The illusory demon saint said, "Why aren't you guys leaving? What are you waiting for?" Yang Wu gently stroked Zhu's beautiful hair. He looked at the illusory demon saint and said, "Do you think I'm a 3-year-old kid? You haven't removed all the illusory techniques from her body." "I've already taken them back." "Brat, are you going back on your word?" The illusory demon saint replied. Look at what kind of eyes I have. These are soul eyes. They can see through your weak illusory technique. Do you really want me to start a massacre?" Yang Wu said with a cold smile. In the next moment, he released the Tao of Death. A terrifying aura of death enveloped the entire area. The nearby illusory demons all felt the aura of death. That terrifying aura of death scared them so much that they turned around and dove back into the cave. The illusory demon saint also revealed a look of fear and said, "Bastard, hurry up and put away your evil aura of death. I'll give her back her freedom. Do it immediately. If I find out that you're holding anything back, I'll exterminate your entire clan." Yang Wu reprimanded. He realized that the Tao of Death seemed to be a greater threat to the illusory demons. Their lives were weak, so perhaps the aura of death could kill them all. The illusory demon saint had no other choice. He looked at Zhu once again, and took out the remaining illusory seed from her divine court. Yang Wu saw with his own eyes that the last bit of illusory intent left Zhu's body. Only then did he feel completely relieved. He muttered in his heart, "This old monster really did have a trick up his sleeve." Actually, he didn't discover the remaining illusory seed in Zhu's divine court. He was just trying to trick the illusory demon saint. He didn't expect that guy to really have a trick up his sleeve. Zhu didn't change much. That illusory seed was planted in the depths of her divine court and was hard to detect. Once it needed to control her again, it could easily do so. Zhu suddenly thought of something. She cried out involuntarily, "My innate gourd is in their hands. Lord Illusory Demon Saint, do you think you should return the innate gourd together with it?" Yang Wu said again. That is my clan's spoils of war. You killed many of my clan's little demons. Take it as compensation. Get out of here immediately. Otherwise, I will order them to tear you apart alive. The illusory demon saint said unhappily. That won't do. That innate gourd was obtained by my lover with great difficulty. If you don't hand it over, we won't leave. Yang Wu said firmly. The aura of death spread out once again. It was as if a demon was looking down on the illusory demon saint. You're infuriating this saint. All of you can stay here. The illusory demon saint didn't want to return the innate gourd. As long as it could refine the innate gourd for its own use, even if it was a saint stage expert from the Ice Illusion Valley who came here, they would still die. Stubborn. Then I'll destroy all of you. Ziyu, who was beside Yang Wu, shouted. A pearl filled with destructive power appeared in her palm. The power of thunder and lightning lingered around it. The threatening power it contained made even Yang Wu feel terrified. Ziyu's strongest trump card, Holy Thunder Pearl. This was the Holy Thunder Pearl that could help her improve quickly. It contained the destructive power of heavenly thunder. Once she threw it out, it would be like an attack from a saint. It was enough to destroy an entire city. No living creature would be able to survive. When Ziyu first entered the Ice Illusion Valley, she was controlled by the illusory demon saint and her innate gourd was stolen. However, it didn't mean that all of her trump cards were exposed. The illusory demon saint wasn't as smart as she thought. When the illusory demon saint felt the terror of Ziyu's Holy Thunder Pearl, its demon eyes flashed with panic. It regretted that it didn't devour this girl's brain and left behind endless troubles. As expected of the Purple Firmament Palace, Yang Wu sighed inside. Ziyu's Holy Thunder Pearl could kill him. Fortunately, she didn't use it when she was under the illusion. Otherwise, they would be separated by life and death forever. Yang Wu also realized that the geniuses of the major forces all had their own treasures. They weren't easy to kill. If he really faced these geniuses in the future, he had to kill them in one strike and not give them a chance to use their trump cards. A voice sounded from the illusory demon cave. I'll return the innate gourd to you. In the next moment, a ray of light shot out from the illusory demon cave. It was Ziyu's innate gourd. It was completely different from Little Nanan's innate gourd. It was purple and contained the power of thunder and lightning. It was compatible with Ziyu. No wonder it chose her as its master. Yang Wu realized that there was still the terrifying illusory demon saint in the illusory demon clan. When he saw Ziyu take back her innate gourd, he pulled her and quickly retreated. He said to the illusory demon saint, "Thank you. We won't meet again." They didn't want to stay for even a moment. They both retreated from the illusory demon clan's territory. A voice sighed from the illusory demon cave. The younger generation will surpass us in time. Chapter 829. Outside the Ice Illusion Valley. The Ice Clan didn't dare to send any more creatures in to search for the innate gourd. The Ice Illusion Valley was too strange. Not only was there illusory goblins' illusion technique to control souls, there was also the natural illusion terrain. No one could escape after entering. Katori and Kai Binghe led a team in. This was already a very strong and experienced team. In the end, only the Ice Rat came out alive. After the Ice Rat luckily escaped from the Ice Illusion Valley, Kai Kahai immediately asked, "Where are Katori and Binghe?" "Dead, they're all dead." The Ice Rat cried out. "Is it the illusory goblins doing?" Kai Kahai frowned and asked. The Ice Rat shook its head and said, "No, it's a human girl. She's too strong, she completely defeated us. Even Katori and Kai Binghe's strongest attacks weren't her match." "Human girl? Could it be the girl with the innate gourd?" Kai Kahai asked again. "I don't know if it's her. Didn't you see her use the innate gourd?" "No." "Without using the innate gourd, how could she be Katori and Kai Binghe's match? That's impossible." The Ice Rat didn't know that it wasn't Ziyu he saw, but Yang Wu. It was under the illusion technique, and couldn't tell who was who. It seems like we have to ask a saint to help, Chaos said in a deep voice. Kaikahai lightly shook his head and said, No, this place is being suppressed by a mighty force. If a saint makes a move, it's easy to provoke a mysterious mighty force and get killed. Also, the human saints will use this as an excuse to attack our Heaven Domain mountain range. Unless there's no other choice, we can't ask for a saint. Then we'll just wait like this? Chaos asked. Don't worry, Your Highness, let's wait for 3 more days. After 3 days, if that human girl doesn't come out, I'll ask the sacred item to knock on the illusory goblin clan and ask them to give us the innate gourd. Kaikahai said with a firm expression. Alright, I want to see that human brat who kidnapped me. If he's alive, I want to see him. If he's dead, I want to see his corpse, Chaos said after erasing his anger. Inside the Ice Illusion Valley, Yang Wu and Yu Yu were in no hurry to leave. They had only left the illusory demon clan's territory and remained within the valley. The two of them held hands as they strolled through the world of ice and snow. The man was handsome, and the woman was peerlessly beautiful. It was as if they were a match made in heaven. It had been more than 4 years since Yu left the mortal realm. They were still the same young men and women from back then. They were just a little taller than before, and their auras were more outstanding. However, they didn't seem too mature. They became famous at a young age and improved their realms very quickly. They would always maintain the appearance of a young man or a young woman. Only when their realms improved slowly or were unable to improve would time leave traces on their faces. Yang Wu broke the silence and said, Are we really not in an illusion? Amen, I think so too. I'm so scared that Big Brother Wu will suddenly leave me, Ziyu said as she leaned on Yang Wu's body. Ever since they were young, she liked to follow behind him and accompany him to do some naughty things. No matter if he did good or bad things, she felt that he was very powerful. She worshipped him very much, and it had already seeped into her bones. It didn't change with the passage of time. Yang Wu lightly scratched Ziyu's jade nose and said, I won't. Even if you want to kill me, I won't leave you. Ziyu gently caressed Yang Wu's chest and said with self-blame, Does it still hurt? Silly, it doesn't hurt anymore. At that time, I really felt that there was no greater sorrow than a dead heart. I'm sorry, I didn't think that I would fall into the illusory demon's trap. It's fine, Big Brother doesn't blame you. As long as you're safe, Big Brother is happier than anything else. That's good. Are we going out now? Why do we have to go out? Stay here with me for a while and we can have a good chat. Amen, I also think so. Yang Wu and Ziyu found a place with less ice and snow and lit a fire. They melted the ice and evaporated the water, making it their temporary resting place. Ice Illusion Valley was a natural barrier, so no one would disturb them. It was a good opportunity for them to talk. The two hugged each other and sat down. She talked about her experiences after entering Purple Firmament Hall. Her life wasn't as colorful as she had imagined. After joining Purple Firmament Hall, she was determined to have an innate battle constitution. She quickly displayed extraordinary cultivation talent and was bestowed the title of Saintess. With this identity, she was under a lot of pressure. Most of the time, she was in a state of cultivation. Occasionally, when she was free, she would think about Yang Wu. She thought about bringing him some cultivation resources, hoping that he could also become an outstanding martial artist. She also thought about whether their feelings would last when they met again. She was afraid that the people of Purple Firmament Hall would make a move against him. She had always treasured these feelings, and only her maidservant Zi Qi knew about the situation. When she saw Yang Wu again in the broken space, she didn't need to worry about Yang Wu being unable to be together with her because of the distance between them. Instead, she was worried that after Yang Wu became angry because of her, Purple Firmament Hall would view him as an enemy. For more than half a year, she had been thinking about a solution. In the end, she came to the conclusion that only if she had the strongest martial strength could she protect this childhood sweetheart of hers. She became even more hard-working in her cultivation. Yang Wu hugged her tightly. He could feel that she had suffered a lot in the past few years. Otherwise, her realm wouldn't have risen so quickly. After she finished speaking, he also told her about his experiences in the past few years. The short meeting in the broken space didn't give them much time to talk. Only at this moment could he speak in more detail. After listening to his experiences, tears couldn't help but fall from her beautiful eyes. She murmured, "Big Brother Wu, you've suffered so much." Yang Wu wiped away her tears and said with a smile, "Silly girl, if a man isn't cruel to himself, how can he become strong? How can he shelter you from the wind and rain? I think I'm already lucky. Even if others worked 100 times harder than me, they might not have my current achievements. How can others compare to Big Brother Wu? You will always be the strongest," Ziyu said with a face full of infatuation. Yang Wu looked at her jade lips that opened and closed like a blooming flower. He couldn't help but lift her chin and kissed her tender and beautiful jade lip. She didn't refuse. She hooked her arms around his neck and passionately responded. Just like the night they separated 4 or 5 years ago, they kissed each other until the end of time, never to be separated. Suddenly, a perverted pig's hand grabbed a jade peak. A light moan sounded and the surrounding ice mountains seemed to be melted by this moving and sweet sound. "Big Brother Wu, don't move." "I didn't move. I just wanted to see how much it has grown." As expected, a girl changes 18 times between childhood and womanhood. "I almost can't hold it anymore." "Big Brother Wu, you're so bad. You only know how to bully me." "Hee, wait until I marry you. I'll bully you every day. I'll wait for you." After Yang Wu and Ziyu were intimate for half a day, they started a fire and roasted some dried meat to eat. They also took out some good wine and the two of them drank together. After Ziyu drank a few mouthfuls of wine, her charming face flushed red like the red clouds. Nothing more beautiful could be imagined. She quietly kissed Yang Wu's cheek and said, "Big Brother Wu, let's bow to the heavens and earth here, okay? Didn't we bow before? Do we have to bow again?" Yang Wu teased. "At that time we were still young and didn't know anything. Let's bow again now. I want to be your woman," Ziyu said with a resolute expression. Yang Wu hugged Ziyu and said affectionately, "You, when we were very young, you were already my woman. No matter in the past or in the future, this will not change." After pausing for a moment, he said, "Today, let's bow to the heavens and earth. In the near future, let's bow to our parents, okay?" He could feel the panic in her heart. She was still afraid that because of some special reasons, the two of them couldn't be together, so she chose to do this. "Okay," Ziyu replied with a happy smile. Thus, they both knelt to the heavens and earth at the same time. "I, Yang Wu, am willing to take Ziyu as my wife. In this life, I will never leave her. I will properly protect her, love her, and accompany her to give birth to a nest of little monkeys. If the heavens want to separate us, then I will blast the heavens down. I, Ziyu, am willing to marry Yang Wu as my wife. In this life, I am willing to serve Yang Wu. I will raise my eyebrows with him, and forever be of one heart, sharing life and death with him." The vows were completed and they drank wine together. At this moment, a voice rang out between heaven and earth, "You two brats are too much. You actually want to marry each other for life. Yang Wu, do you even put your master in your eyes?" This voice was too sudden, but it gave Yang Wu and Ziyu a big fright. After Yang Wu heard this voice, his expression was first stunned, then he said with ecstasy, "Master, is that you?" Yang Wu couldn't forget this voice. When he was in the beast-taming hall, he had been bullied miserably by his cheap master. He really didn't expect his cheap master to appear at this time. Suddenly, a shadow quietly appeared in front of Yang Wu and Ziyu. This was a tall and thin old man who didn't care about his appearance. His hair was scattered and his clothes were a bit messy. He carried a large gourd on his back and looked like a homeless person. He didn't look like the heroic figure that Yang Wu had imagined at all. "Why aren't you kowtowing when you see your master?" the old man said to Yang Wu in a deep voice. Yang Wu rubbed his eyes and asked, You're really my master? What, is there someone who dares to pretend to be your master? Aren't you afraid that your master will exterminate his entire family?" the old man said with an extremely strong baleful aura. No, I can't recognize you like this," Yang Wu said embarrassedly. "Brat, you're itching for a beating, aren't you? Do you believe that I won't take your bride away and let you cry yourself to death here? Master, don't be like this. I'll kowtow to you. Your disciple has been looking for you so bitterly. I was almost killed by a scoundrel and was even forced into this place by a foreign race. I was miserably teased by the illusory demon clan and only managed to kill my way out after experiencing a situation of near death. I've persisted until now." Chapter 830. Yang Wu had rushed to the Heaven Domain mountain range in order to find his cheap master to formally become his disciple and join the sect. He had been thinking about how to find him. Who knew that he would suddenly descend from the sky? He was so surprised that he began to complain. After the old man heard Yang Wu's words, he rolled his eyes at Yang Wu and said, "Brat, you're getting married here. I can't see how pitiful you are. Don't be naughty." After pausing for a moment, he said, "Since you're getting married here, then Master will be your witness. It can be considered a greeting gift for rushing here." The old man's words did not allow Yang Wu and Ziyu to object as he made the final decision. Ziyu smiled and said, "Many thanks for Master's help." His master was her master. "Girl, you're quite sensible." The old man looked at Ziyu and said with satisfaction. Yang Wu bitterly smiled and said, "Many thanks, Master." He felt like he was dreaming and couldn't help but suspect, if this is an illusion, then this illusion is too real. Don't look so unwilling. If it weren't for the fact that you're Master's disciple in name, Master wouldn't even bother with you. The old man said with dissatisfaction. "No, Master. I thought I was dreaming and was afraid that you would disappear in the blink of an eye. Wouldn't I have been happy for nothing? At least you know your place. A mere illusory demon land is not enough for Master to enter your dream. Then disciple and daughter-in-law will kowtow to Master. As the saying goes, a teacher for a day is a father for life. We will respect you as much as we respect our parents." Yang Wu said seriously and kowtowed to the old man with Ziyu. A rare smile appeared on the old man's face. He gently stroked his beard and calmly accepted Yang Wu and Ziyu's kowtow. He was very satisfied with these two young people. After Yang Wu and Yu bowed, the old man took out a dreamy dress and handed it to Yu. "Child, since you've married this brat, I can't treat you unfairly. This dreamy wedding dress is for you." "Dreamy wedding dress!" Purple Yu exclaimed as she looked at the dress in the old man's hand that was glowing with dreamy light. Yang Wu asked from the side, "Is it that great?" Although he also felt that the clothes were very good, at best, it was just a defensive armor. It wasn't anything precious. In his heart, he despised his master for being too stingy. Yu took a deep breath and said, "Shurzuan, this gift is too precious. Yu doesn't dare to accept it." The dreamy wedding dress was one of the top sacred items. It had the ability to turn invisible. After wearing it, one could hide their tracks and increase their speed by 100 times. Any attack below the Heaven Ascension realm would not be able to break through the wedding dress defense. It was one of the top 10 sacred weapons on the sacred weapon ranking. The sacred weapon ranking was a top sacred weapon ranking in the transcendental world. Its authority was unquestionable. Ziyu knew about the sacred weapon ranking and knew about the existence of the dreamy wedding dress. She never expected the old man to be so generous. With the dreamy wedding dress, she could do whatever she wanted in the transcendental world. There was no need to be afraid of being killed by others. It was an absolute life-saving trump card. Just accept it when I tell you to. Are you looking down on your master? The old man said unhappily. Ziyu looked at Yang Wu. Yang Wu hurriedly said, Yu, quickly accept it. This small gift is nothing to Shizuen. He doesn't care at all. Ziyu could only brace herself and accept the dreamy wedding dress. She then solemnly kowtowed to the old man and said, Thank you Shizuen for the gift. All right. Quickly get up. Only young people like you can get married in this world of ice and snow. The old man said. Yang Wu asked, Shizuen, where's my gift? Waiting for Yang Wu was the old man's kowtow. The old man said, You haven't completed your mission and you still want Shizuen's gift. Are you itching for a beating? What mission? Yang Wu held his head and asked. Find the ruins of the heavenly palace. If you can't find it, don't say you are Shizuen's disciple in the future. The old man said and quietly disappeared from this world. He really came in a hurry and left in a hurry. His whereabouts were unfathomable. Shizuen. Yang Wu anxiously called out. Ziyu said from the side, he left. Yang Wu said dejectedly, That damned old man. He's too unkind. Brother Wu, your Shizuen is very impressive. You must not underestimate him. Ziyu said seriously from the side. He's just a stingy old man. What's so impressive about him? Yang Wu sat on the ground and said unhappily, Brother Wu, have you never heard of the dreamy wedding dress? Ziyu sat down and asked, Why are you calling me Brother Wu? You should call me husband. Yang Wu corrected Ziyu's words. He paused and asked, What's the origin of this dress? Ziyu could tell that Yang Wu had never heard of the dreamy wedding dress. She took out a book and handed it to Yang Wu and said, Take a look for yourself. Yang Wu revealed a puzzled look. He then took the book and read it. The title of the book was Sacred Weapon Ranking List. It recorded the top 1,000 sacred weapons of the transcendent world. Ranked number 1. Longevity Boxing Glove. It comes from the Longevity Hall's sacred weapon. A sacred weapon left behind by ancestor longevity. It can increase the strength of one's fist by 500 times. It possesses the martial will of longevity. Ranked number 2, Kunlun Sword. It comes from Kunlun Mountain. It was refined from the Kunlun Sacred Stone and Chaos Stone. It contains the beautiful description of sword breaking through the 9 provinces. It is known as the number 1 sword under the heavens. Its power is boundless. Ranked number 3, Dreamy Wedding Dress. It is rumored to be a wedding dress made by a top sacred weapon master for his dead wife. It has the ability to conceal and increase speed. It is the number 1 sacred weapon for assassination. Ranked number 4, Demon Subduing Staff. It comes from the Shaolin Temple in Mount Chong. Every single one of the 1,000 sacred weapons had a brief introduction. Reading it caused Yang Wu's breathing to quicken. These sacred weapons all had extraordinary origins, as well as extraordinary sacred might. Most of them belonged to the sects of the various major forces. A small number of them were in the possession of powerful saints. A small number of them had been lost. The dreamy wedding dress had been lost for 1,000 years. Who would have thought that it would end up in Ziyu's hands after being turned around? Immediately, Yang Wu laughed out loud and said, As expected of my master, you're so generous and heroic. Ziyu looked at Yang Wu's complacent appearance, and could not help but laugh. You were scolding him just now. Yang Wu laughed. He is my master. If I don't scold him, who should I scold? It's his fault for always tormenting me. Be careful. He heard you. Don't scare me. I was just joking. Martial husband, we are really married. Ziyu returned to the topic and said shyly. With their master presiding, their wedding was indeed complete. They were officially husband and wife. It was no longer a game. Yang Wu looked at Ziyu with shining eyes and said, That's right, wife. We can consummate our marriage tonight. Husband, can you think of something else? Ziyu said with a bashful expression. Yang Wu rubbed his hands and said, This is an important matter. In order for my Yang family's descendants to flourish, we must consummate our marriage. Zhu's face was completely red. How can we consummate our marriage here? Yang Wu looked around. It was a vast expanse of whiteness. He immediately said angrily, "Let's leave here and find another place to consummate our marriage." Zhu could not refute Yang Wu's suggestion. It was a matter of course for them to enter the bridal chamber after marriage. Yang Wu did not rush out of the Ice Illusion Valley with Zhu because they were in a rush to consummate their marriage. They were prepared to test the power of the fantasy wedding dress. Zhu opened the fantasy wedding dress and draped it over her body. She really disappeared in front of Yang Wu's eyes. After Yang Wu opened his soul eye, he was able to vaguely see her figure. He couldn't help but exclaim, as expected of a top-grade sacred weapon ranked in the top 3. It can really hide one's tracks. Cheap master didn't lie. Husband, come here. Let's leave this place together. Zhu said happily. With this wedding dress, they could leave here safe and sound. This fantasy wedding dress was like a cloak. It could cover both of them at the same time and completely hide their tracks. The two of them hugged each other and prepared to leave the Ice Illusion Valley. Don't be in such a hurry. Let's first collect some good stuff before leaving, Yang Wu said when he saw the Ice Illusion flowers growing in the Ice Mountain. Therefore, after collecting some herbs and fantasy crystals, they left the place. When they reached the entrance of the Ice Illusion Valley, the Ice Clan's creatures were still guarding it tightly, not allowing any creatures to enter or leave. When Yang Wu and Zhu passed by the Ice Clan's creatures, they could not detect their tracks at all, allowing them to easily leave the Ice Illusion Valley. The Fantasy Saint robe is really good stuff. Yang Wu couldn't help but praise. Zhu was also amazed by the Fantasy Saint robe's abilities. She wanted to leave this Fantasy Saint robe to Yang Wu. Compared to her, Yang Wu needed this Fantasy Saint robe more to protect himself. The two of them found a quiet and inconspicuous cave. They cleaned up all the impurities in the cave and covered it with some cloth, making it look much cleaner and tidier. Zhu's heart beat faster and faster as she watched this scene. Her palms were covered in sweat. Even when facing the pressure of a saint, she didn't seem this nervous. "I'll give my body to him tonight," she said shyly in her heart. Yang Wu pulled Zhu to sit down. He sensed Zhu's nervousness and gently kissed her forehead, saying, "My wife, we won't consummate our marriage tonight." Zhu was stunned for a moment before asking, "What's wrong? You don't like it?" Yang Wu shook his head and said, "No, I'm in too much of a hurry. The wedding night should be in the most romantic and festive room. It's too much for you to do it in the wild." Zhu was moved to tears. Which woman didn't want to give their first time to their man in the most comfortable environment? Don't cry. We have plenty of time in the future. When I'm done with my business, we'll consummate our marriage. You won't be able to run away anyway. Actually, I can do it with you too. Chapter 831. Yang Wu and Zhu entered the bridal chamber. In the end, they did not do the shameful things that they had to do. That night, Yang Wu hugged Zhu to sleep. He did not overstep the rules at all. He felt that he was more of a saint than a saint. He was too great. In reality, he regretted pretending to be a saint. Even Zhu did not mind, so why should he, a man, be so pretentious? The two of them talked about some intimate things throughout the night. They did not talk about what they should do in the future, as if they were avoiding this topic. When the sun rose, Yang Wu took the initiative to say, You can follow me in the future. Don't go back to Purple Firmament Hall, okay? I already have the ability to protect you." Zhu blinked her bright eyes and said to Yang Wu, "I know you have the ability, but I still want to go back to Purple Firmament Hall." Yang Wu frowned slightly. Without waiting for him to speak, Zhu covered his mouth and said, "Listen to me. If we want to be together for a long time, there are some things that need to be resolved. Purple Firmament Hall is very powerful. With our current strength, they can easily wipe us out. I don't want to hide all day after we get together. I have chosen to follow you, and that will not change for the rest of my life. Even if I die, I am not afraid. However, my parents are still in the hall, and I cannot abandon them. I was too naive. Yang Wu sighed. He held her delicate hand and said, "No matter how strong Purple Firmament Hall is, I will make them acknowledge our existence. No matter who tries to stop us from being together, I will kick them all away." Ziyu nodded and said, "Yes, with our strength, no one can stop us in the future. We need time to grow, so we cannot let our emotions affect our decisions." Ziyu was very smart and sensible. She was also very cautious. She did not lose herself because of marrying Yang Wu. Yang Wu smiled and said, "My wife is still the most thoughtful. I know what to do." After a pause, he said, "Let's not worry about the future for now. We have to be together for the time being. And I'll go with you wherever you go." Ziyu leaned on Yang Wu and replied. After Yang Wu and Purple Yu spent some time together, they left the cave and headed towards the ruins of the Heavenly Palace. They had the dreamy wedding dress, so no creature could discover their existence. They successfully arrived at the ruins of the Heavenly Palace. Rumor has it that this is only the outer palace of the Heavenly Palace. No one has found the true inner palace yet, Ziyu said as she looked at the ruins. Yang Wu replied, "I don't know either. Master never mentioned it to me. I came here according to the agreement. Master should come out to meet me." This area was guarded by ice race creatures at all times. Once they showed themselves, they would be attacked by them. Yang Wu and Ziyu couldn't act recklessly. They began to walk around, hoping that their master would discover their existence. Although the dreamy wedding dress was magical, it was a gift from his master. It couldn't escape his master's senses. They had been here for half a day, but his master still hadn't appeared. Yang Wu was getting anxious. He couldn't help but shout, "Master, your disciple has come as promised." His voice reverberated through the ruins. The ice race creatures were shocked. They quickly searched for the person who had shouted. They didn't see any other creatures appear in this area. Who made that sound? Does a human dare to come here? The sound came from that direction. I don't see anything strange. Could it be a saint? No matter who it is, this is a place protected by our race. No one can touch it. It's a human's voice. How could he escape our senses? If we find him, we'll kill him. Everyone, be alert. Look for the person who shouted. The ice race creatures began to search for the creature who had shouted. But no matter how hard they searched, they couldn't find him. He was shouting in the east, then in the west, and then in the south. The ice race creatures couldn't figure out where he was. The ice race creatures were frightened. They wondered if the soul of a strong cultivator from the Heavenly Palace had come back. Otherwise, how could they not find him? Yang Wu didn't pay attention to the ice race creatures. He said to Ziyu, "What do you think our master is doing? I'm here, but he still hasn't appeared. Does he think that I have to be his disciple? So he's acting like a big shot. If this continues, I'll leave. It's up to you whether you want to see him or not." Yang Wu was angry in his heart. Ever since he was accepted as a disciple, this cheap master of his had never taught him, nor helped him in any way. There was only a nominal relationship between the two sides. He did not have the patience to waste time with the other party. To be honest, the reason he was able to get to where he was today was all because of his own hard work, and the one who gave him the greatest help was Xiao He, not this cheap master of his. Yesterday, he had a better impression of his cheap master. Now, his impression of him was ruined. Ziyu said from the side, "Husband, don't worry. That senior's strength is extraordinary and he came from the Heavenly Palace. It's normal for him to have a bad temper. Think about it again. Do you need any guidance to find him?" Ziyu's words had a big effect. Yang Wu was enlightened. He muttered, "Do I need the heavenly voice? No, I need a token." The next moment, Yang Wu took out a token. It was the demon taming token. He hesitated. "If this can't lead me to my master, then we have to leave." Yang Wu said with the heavenly voice, "My holy token, return to the heavenly palace." He infused his energy into the demon-taming token. The token immediately released holy chi, and one demon tamer after another walked out of the token. There were a total of 18 demon tamers. Their ferocious figures appeared in the sky. Their terrifying auras spread out in all directions. The Ice Tribe creatures were so frightened that they prostrated themselves on the ground, trembling. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Their eyes were filled with fear. They were afraid that they would be slaughtered. Demon tamers were all stained with the blood of countless spirit demons, and other races. They were very murderous. Now that all of them were released, even Yang Wu was terrified. This was the first time he had seen the true power of the demon-taming token. It was much stronger than he had imagined. These demon tamers looked at this familiar place with gentleness and shyness in their eyes. This place carried most of their memories from when they were alive. In a corner of the heavenly palace ruins, power suddenly burst out. The ice and snow there melted instantly. Thousands of rays of light shot out to receive the demon-taming token. While Yang Wu and Ziyue were in a daze, the demon-taming command swept the two of them towards the location of the multicolored light. These multicolored lights flickered in this part of the world, and also illuminated a large area of the mountain range. The living beings here could all sense the power of these multicolored lights. Many powerful auras floated, and one after another, rainbow-like gazes looked over. How did this light come about? Did another connate absolute treasure appear? Strange phenomena are everywhere. Something good must have appeared. We can't miss it this time. That's the Heavenly Palace ruins. The Heavenly Palace ruins must have appeared. There must be an inheritance. I must get it. This is the Ice Tribe's territory. Kill any creature that comes close. The sages hidden in this area were all moved. They couldn't care less if this place had a suppressive effect on them. They quickly rushed toward the light. The Ice Tribe's powerful cultivators moved quickly. The connate absolute treasures had already been taken by the human race. They couldn't let the human race have the upper hand in the Heavenly Palace's secret. In an instant, the Heavenly Palace ruins were in a mess again. A multicolored light flashed and disappeared. Yang Wu and Ziyue disappeared from their original positions. They no longer knew what had happened in the ruins. They appeared in an ancient palace. There was an ancient mountain forest in this space, and an ancient palace was located here. It appeared majestic and lofty, standing at the peak of a mountain. White clouds and mist lingered around it, like an immortal palace, emitting an ancient and ethereal aura. A large number of mountains were missing in the surroundings, as if they had disappeared into thin air. It was unknown if they had been erased or if some strange changes had occurred. The heaven-earth mystic chi here was as rich as the god of war pagoda's 9th level. It was a paradise for cultivation. However, such a good place for cultivation gave off a desolate and bleak feeling. Yang Wu came back to his senses and exclaimed, "Is this the Heavenly Palace's ruins?" Ziyue nodded. "It should be. Rumor has it that the Heavenly Palace was destroyed 10,000 years ago, but it's not that simple. This is the inner palace of the Heavenly Palace. It must have been destroyed more than 10,000 years ago. The Heavenly Palace used to be so powerful that no one in the transcendent world could resist it, even if they joined forces. Something must have happened to them that caused them to disappear. Let's not talk about this for now. I'll call Master out," Yang Wu replied. He then shouted, "Master, where are you? Your disciple is here." However, what he received was not a response from his master. Instead, an arrow suddenly shot toward him. This arrow was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it was behind Yang Wu. Yang Wu's hair stood on end. He had no time to dodge. He could only activate the black tortoise armor and take the attack head-on. Bang! Yang Wu was sent flying by the explosion. This gave Ziyue a big fright. At the same time, a figure quickly rushed over and grabbed at Ziyue. Ziyu Yu's reaction was not as fast as Yang Wu's. However, since Yang Wu was attacked first, she was also prepared. She turned around and struck out with her purple lightning palm. The lightning palm contained an extremely powerful force. Even a minor saint would not be able to block it. The person who came was very powerful. He dodged Ziyu Yu's attack and even grabbed at Ziyu Yu's arm. He wanted to capture her. A proud smile rang out. What a beautiful purple fairy. From today onwards you are mine. How dare you touch my woman? Die. Yang Wu took the attack and suffered some injuries. However, it was still within the range that he could endure. He realized that the other party was rushing at Ziyu Yu. He roared and immediately activated his ice blade wings to slash at the other party. Chapter 832. The ice-bladed wings was Yang Wu's trump card. It was a hidden attack. Even an opponent who was stronger than him would be killed if he was careless. The person who attacked Yang Wu was definitely not a saint. Otherwise, that arrow would have killed Yang Wu. The opponent should only have the strength of a peak minor saint. The sneak attack was too sudden, so Yang Wu couldn't react in time. Ziyu Yu was Yang Wu's wife. They had already bowed to the heaven and earth. Even if they didn't, she was still his flesh and blood. Whoever dared to have any ideas about her, he would beat them up until their mother couldn't recognize them. The attacker was also very powerful. When the ice-bladed wings suddenly attacked, he actually dodged it. However, he was also forced to let go of Ziyu Yu. Ziyu was the holy maiden of the Purple Cloud Palace. She wasn't someone who could be bullied so easily. She released her lightning magnetic field. Suddenly, the surrounding area was filled with terrifying lightning energy. It enveloped the person who had launched the sneak attack. I'm going to be electrocuted to death. A miserable shriek was heard. The lightning magnetic field was filled with lightning energy. Each of the lightning energy could kill an ordinary minor saint. Anyone who got close to it would be killed. Even if they didn't die, they would be injured. The attacker was also very powerful. After withstanding Ziyu Yu's lightning energy, he could still retreat. One could see how strong his defense was. Yang Wu rushed towards Ziyu Yu. He stared at the attacker and exclaimed, "Flower thief!" His opponent was none other than Jiang Ping, the rapist. He was actually here, and his battle prowess had improved at an extremely fast rate. Compared to when he was in the fragmented space, he had improved by leaps and bounds. He had directly stepped into the dragon transformation realm, improving even faster than Yang Wu. After retreating from Ziyu Yu's lightning magnetic field, Jiang Ping landed on a rock elegantly. He held a big bow in one hand and looked at Yang Wu with a cold smile on his face. We are really fated to meet each other no matter where we are. Moreover, you always have beauties following you wherever you go. It's really unfair. From today onwards, the saintess of the Purple Firmament Palace must become my woman. Jiang Ping was much more confident than before. Yang Wu felt that Jiang Ping's strength was on par with his. He definitely had an extraordinary background. He couldn't help but suspect, could it be that this guy has obtained the inheritance of the Heavenly Palace? Yang Wu looked at Jiang Ping calmly and said, "After today, there will be no more flower thieves." In the blink of an eye, Yang Wu's body was filled with dense profound qi. It was as if he had transformed into a black tortoise. His powerful aura spread in all directions, causing dust to fly everywhere. New grudges and old grudges, let's settle them once and for all. Jiang Ping laughed sinisterly. He drew his bow and continuously shot arrows. Whoosh! Arrows flew out from the bow, shooting towards Yang Wu like meteors. The power contained in the arrows was enough to make even a peak minor saint retreat. Edited by Lifer, Fingerfox husband. Be careful. Ziyu Yu reminded. Yang Wu replied, "Don't worry. He's just a clown." Yang Wu's fist was like a dragon, and the powerful fist energy smashed all of the opponent's arrows. Yang Wu was a monstrous genius who could fight against a half-step saint. He broke Jiang Ping's arrows with his bare hands. He was shocked by the power of the arrows and was forced to take half a step back. His arm was still aching. He exclaimed in his heart, "Did this guy take some aphrodisiac? How did he become so strong?" When they were in War God City, Jiang Ping avoided him. It hadn't been long since they last met, but Jiang Ping had become so strong. He found it hard to believe that they were the same person. Perhaps Jiang Ping had been hiding his strength all this time? Yang Wu didn't have time to think too much. Jiang Ping had already attacked again. He sneered, "I'm serious. I'll kill you with one arrow." Suddenly, waves of wind Xian Qi appeared on his body, creating a storm around him. When the arrow was shot out again, it was like a wind dragon roaring towards Yang Wu. The terrifying wind dragon's strength was close to that of a half-step saint. Jiang Ping was only at the early stage of the dragon transformation realm. Yet, he could unleash such a powerful force. It could be seen that his foundation was not to be underestimated. However, Jiang Ping had underestimated Yang Wu's strength. If Yang Wu hadn't recultivated in the God of War pagoda for 10 years, he might not be Jiang Ping's match. But now, Yang Wu had his own martial will. He had already killed half-step saints. When he got serious, Jiang Ping's strength was nothing. Yang Wu took a step forward and punched out once again. Like a savage beast crashing into a mountain, the ferocious blow blew up the wind dragon with an unstoppable momentum. In the next moment, Yang Wu ran like the wind and closed in on Jiang Ping. He shouted, "You can deal with me, but if you have designs on my woman, even if you die 10 times, it won't be enough to appease my hatred." Barbaric tiger fist. Barbaric lion fist. In an instant, numerous savage beasts appeared. Majestic brute force enveloped the surroundings. Clouds of dust were stirred up. The terrifying destructive power was enough to suppress a half-step saint. Jiang Ping finally witnessed Yang Wu's battle prowess. His eyes widened as he exclaimed, "Everything this brat did in God of War City was real? Even a half-step saint from the Xing clan died in his hands?" Jiang Ping was only dazed for a moment. He put away his large bow, turned into a series of afterimages, and disappeared from sight. His speed was astonishingly fast. It was not something an ordinary person could compare with. This was also the reason why he was able to escape from the encirclement of so many experts. Yang Wu's attack missed. Jiang Ping appeared behind him. A storm of power swept up behind Yang Wu's back. Tempest Palm. Jiang Ping's strength increased once again. His palms carried the power to topple mountains and overturn seas as they blasted towards Yang Wu. Jiang Ping's battle prowess was not inferior to a half-step saint. What fortuitous encounter did he rely on to become so powerful? Yang Wu's reaction was outstanding. He flicked his wind god's leg and a tornado appeared, colliding with Jiang Ping's palms. Bang! Bang! A series of shocking explosions rang out. Yu retreated. She muttered, "All of you are so strong. If I don't break through to the dragon transformation realm, I won't be able to compete with them." Yang Wu also didn't expect Jiang Ping to be like a different person. His battle prowess was so strong. His palms contained dense palm intent. Each of his palms was incomparably sharp and ferocious. The two of them were evenly matched. Yang Wu didn't want to let Jiang Ping go. He attacked with his ice blade wings. Jiang Ping released his aura. When the power of the ice blade wings slashed his body, his reaction was extremely fast. His figure flashed like the wind and narrowly dodged Yang Wu's attack. "I also have an innate ability." Jiang Ping knew Yang Wu's confidence like the back of his hand. He knew that Yang Wu had a hidden innate ability. He had always been on guard. He wasn't like the others who could be easily slaughtered by Yang Wu. In the next moment, Jiang Ping unleashed his innate ability. Peach Blossom Enchanting Smoke Finger. Jiang Ping made an extremely enchanting movement. His fingers pinched the shape of a peach blossom. Rays of light swept out, forming the shape of a peach blossom. When the wind blew, the peach blossom bloomed. Layers of fog spread out. The peach blossom was enchanting, and the fog was dense. Suddenly, Yang Wu's vision blurred. The power of the peach blossom finger tied a knot and exploded on his body. Jiang Ping's attack didn't end there. He took advantage of the time when Yang Wu was hit by the peach blossom finger to continuously attack Yang Wu. He was determined to kill him. Murderous wind blade. Each of the wind blades contained the power to split heaven and earth. It was enough to kill any peak minor saint. Even a half-step saint wouldn't be able to block it easily. Yang Wu could only retreat after being attacked by Jiang Ping's series of attacks. The black tortoise armor covered his body, blocking most of the attacks. He was forced to retreat. When Ziyue saw this, she wanted to help Yang Wu, but after hesitating for a moment, she did not do so. She understood Yang Wu's personality. He had always wanted to be strong since he was young, and he was a male chauvinist. He would definitely not allow her to help. Yang Wu wasn't a person who would admit defeat easily. Under Jiang Ping's continuous attacks, he finally launched a counterattack. Barbaric Tyrant Fist. Shao Chun exuded a strong and overwhelming qi, a tyrannical aura. A punch that could shatter the sky shattered all of Jiang Ping's wind blades and headed straight for his chest. Asterisk bang. Asterisk Jiang Ping couldn't dodge Yang Wu's domineering punch. His body was sent flying like a bow. Yang Wu was like a ferocious tiger that was released from its cage. He rushed towards Jiang Ping rapidly. Although he didn't cultivate the wind profound qi, he had the innate talent of wind god's legs. He had the super speed of a wind profound qi warrior. He caught up with Jiang Ping in a blink of an eye and sent out another punch. It contained the terrifying fist energy of Zhen Wu boxing. Jiang Ping received another punch and was sent flying hundreds of meters away. Even a half-sage would be crippled by such a powerful attack. After Jiang Ping was sent flying, he quickly bounced back up. Yang Wu was surprised. He softly exclaimed, "You're not hurt at all. Are you wearing a sacred armor?" Jiang Ping's strength was weaker than his, but he could still bounce back up as if nothing had happened after receiving his all-out attack. He was definitely wearing a sacred armor. Otherwise, it was impossible for him to be unharmed. "You're really strong, but you can't defeat me." Jiang Ping laughed. He turned into a gust of wind and rushed towards Yang Wu. Just when Yang Wu was ready to fight, this guy actually changed his direction and rushed towards Ziyue. Jiang Ping was very clear that Yang Wu would be under his control after he captured Ziyue. Yang Wu was furious. "If I don't kill you, I'll take your surname. Yu, quickly retreat." Yang Wu erupted with all his strength and raised his speed to the extreme. He left behind an afterimage and chased after Jiang Ping. "Heh, there's no woman I can't capture." Jiang Ping laughed confidently. His peach blossom eyes flickered as he looked at Ziyue. They flickered with a strange luster. Peach blossom eyes. Jiang Ping was very good at dealing with women. His eyes seemed to have a demonic nature that could enchant all the women in the world. This was a strange innate talent. However, his innate talent, which had always been successful, was ineffective in front of Ziyue. She only had Yang Wu in her heart and couldn't tolerate another man. Jiang Ping's peach blossom eyes could enchant other women, but they couldn't enchant Ziyue. When Jiang Ping was about to attack, Ziyue revealed a charming smile and said, "Do you really think I'm easy to bully?" Thunder Explosion Bead. Boom. Chapter 833. The Thunderblast Pearl was so powerful that it could even kill a peak minor saint. Jiang Ping thought that Ziyue was a lamb waiting to be punished, but he had forgotten that she was the saintess of the Purple Firmament Palace. How could her life-saving means be ordinary? The Thunderblast Pearl exploded in an instant. Even with the protection of the saint armor, Jiang Ping was still badly injured. Without thinking, he quickly retreated. He knew that Zuu wouldn't let him go so easily. Indeed, Zuu didn't plan to let him go. When he was fighting with Yang Wu just now, she already wanted to attack. Now that Jiang Ping had come personally, she had a very good reason to attack. Thunder Tongue Lightning Sword. She spat out an astonishing lightning sword, which pierced towards Jiang Ping's forehead in the blink of an eye. Jiang Ping's hair stood on end as he frantically retreated. The lightning sword pursued him relentlessly, and a trace of blood appeared on his forehead. If it had pierced forward another inch, he would have died without a doubt. However, he had absolute confidence in his speed. Innate skill, teleportation. Jiang Ping's figure shifted in an instant, barely dodging Ziyu's fatal attack. Yu, protect yourself well. He's mine. Yang Wu rushed over like a dragon. His overbearing fist struck down from the sky. This was a sure kill attack. It wasn't inferior to any half-step saint. Jiang Ping didn't dare to take it head-on. He activated his teleportation innate skill once again. His figure shifted again, dodging Yang Wu's attack. Yang Wu chased after him relentlessly, one punch after another. The Zhen Wu prison was formed in this world. Fist auras were everywhere, bombarding unceasingly. Strange phenomena appeared in the world, and the might of his punch soared to the heavens. Jiang Ping had nowhere to run. He could only brace himself. Anyway, he was wearing the saint armor. He wasn't afraid of being hit. 3 clear saint technique. Jiang Ping used his trump card. Suddenly, 3 silhouettes appeared. The 3 silhouettes simultaneously blocked Yang Wu's attack with astonishing strength. Hong long. Wave after wave of sounds of battle resounded incessantly. The commotion caused by this battle was comparable to a battle between half-step saints. Although the 3 clear sacred arts were extraordinary, Yang Wu's combat prowess was even better. His true boxing had an invincible spirit, and he could often become stronger when facing a strong opponent. The 3 Jiang Pings were all hit by Yang Wu. One was hit in the head, one was kicked in the crotch, and one was elbowed in the stomach. The 3 clear chi fused together again, and Yang Wu was injured and vomited blood. If he wasn't wearing the saint armor, Yang Wu's attack would have been enough to kill him. Perverted bastard! Jiang Ping was scared. He didn't hesitate to flee. Just as Yang Wu was giving chase, a mighty voice rang out, "Enough, the battle between you 2 brothers ends here." Yang Wu and Jiang Ping were completely stunned. A figure quietly appeared between heaven and earth. It was Yang Wu's chief master, Hao Ren. "We are from the same sect?" Yang Wu and Jiang Ping glanced at Hao Ren, then pointed at each other and exclaimed, "Strictly speaking, you are all disciples in the heavenly palace in name. It's not an exaggeration to call you brothers," Hao Ren replied. "Master, this perverted bastard is worthy of being my brother? It's good enough that I didn't kill him," Yang Wu said with an indignant expression. Yang Wu didn't have a good impression of Jiang Ping. For a man who dared to have ideas about his woman, even the best of brothers would turn against each other. Although some people said, "Women are like clothes, brothers are like hands and feet," the women here were just prostitutes in brothels or women who weren't liked by men. If they liked women, which man would allow them to be bullied? I think we are very fated. We met once in the Broken Space, once in War God City, and once again in the ruins of the Heavenly Palace. From now on, I will recognize you as my brother," Jiang Ping said with a wretched expression. His eyes were constantly glancing at Zuu. He did not even put Hao Ren in his eyes. Yang Wu was furious. He couldn't wait to release the Tao of Death and kill Jiang Ping. "You 2 don't need to quarrel. Being able to reach this place proves that you are fated with the Heavenly Palace. After passing the test just now, Yang Wu's skill is better, so he is qualified to become this old man's disciple. Jiang Ping, you have inherited the inheritance of the 3 pure ones, so you can be considered a disciple of the Heavenly Palace. Since your combat strength is inferior to Yang Wu's, you will be the junior brother and assist your senior brother so that the Heavenly Palace can regain its glory as soon as possible, Hao Ren said decisively. I don't recognize this sect anymore. Yang Wu responded bluntly. Then he walked towards Ziyuyu, wanting to take her away. Humph, that's not up to you. You two will enter the battle tomb and temper yourselves for 49 days. Whoever comes out alive will be considered an official disciple of the Heavenly Palace. Hao Ren coldly said. With a wave of his sleeve, Yang Wu and Jiang Ping both fell towards the same place. Their combat strength wasn't bad, but in front of Hao Ren, they were nothing. When they came back to their senses, they had already arrived at a desolate place. There were piles of bones here, and the yin qi was extremely heavy. It was like a mass grave. In the next moment, the skeletons here began to move. One after another, the skeletons turned into puppets and charged towards Yang Wu and Jiang Ping. In addition, there were also mournful cries. One after another, malicious spirits rushed towards them with bared fangs and claws. Yang Wu and Jiang Ping's expressions changed greatly. They didn't expect this place to be so dangerous. Before they were mentally prepared, they were attacked. They were so frightened that they hurriedly faced the attack. Get out of my way! Yang Wu shouted and waved his fist. A dragon-like fist energy surged out and crushed the skeletons. Bang bang! The tyrannical power wreaked havoc. One after another, the skeletons were smashed into powder. On the other side, Jiang Ping was also impressive. He stirred up a storm and turned many skeletons into powder. However, the most dangerous thing was still the attack of the malicious spirit. They carried a vicious aura as they charged towards their heavenly palace. Once the soul was injured by these malicious spirits, it would be more serious than physical injuries. Fortunately, Yang Wu's soul was impressive. He unleashed the power of his battle soul and continuously attacked, dispersing all the remnant souls. Jiang Ping's soul strength wasn't weak either. He wasn't able to destroy the remnant souls like Yang Wu, but a headband appeared between his eyebrows at an unknown time. It blocked the attacks of the malicious spirits, causing them to return without any effect. The storm he released blew them into pieces. Really weak, Jiang Ping said disdainfully. Just as he finished speaking, a new set of skeletons appeared. Their bones were obviously harder than the previous ones, and their movements were more agile. Their offensive power was abnormally strong, not inferior to any minor saint expert. Jiang Ping's expression changed drastically. He saw these skeletons continuously crawling up. The number of skeletons was so dense that it made one's scalp tingle. Of the 36 stratagems, the best strategy is to flee. Jiang Ping was definitely fleeing. He wanted to survive here for 49 days. He couldn't exhaust a lot of his battle strength right from the start. Otherwise, he would die without a burial ground later. Yang Wu sensed that Jiang Ping had escaped, but he didn't move. During the 10 years of recuperation in the God of War Pagoda, the young martial gods were all his sparring partners. Every time, he would fight with them until his xian qi was exhausted and his body was covered in wounds. He wanted to force out the limits of his martial arts power. The best way was to use battle to nurture battle. On the way to the Sky Domain mountain range, he had soaked in the dragon marrow liquid and improved his physique again. However, he hadn't forced out his potential limits yet. This time, being thrown here might help him improve further. Let's just treat it as returning to the God of War Pagoda, Yang Wu muttered to himself. He activated his senses to the maximum and clearly sensed the trajectory of the skeletons attacking him. He began to use them to practice his martial art. Bang! Bang! Yang Wu didn't use his xian qi anymore. He used his bare hands to attack these skeletons. Every strike landed on the weakest part of the skeletons, shattering them into pieces. These skeletons were probably controlled by the array formation to attack them. They had been here for countless years. Every skeleton had more or less weak parts. Once hit, the skeleton would shatter. The more Yang Wu fought, the faster he became. One skeleton after another was swept away by his pure strength. The threat was not as high as he had imagined. The only troublesome thing was that there were too many skeletons here. How could it be so easy to completely destroy them? Yang Wu took out his combat weapon and attacked from left and right, destroying even more skeletons. The deeper Yang Wu went, the stronger the skeletons and broken souls became. This place was called Battle Tomb by his master. It definitely wasn't simple. There were a lot of skeletons and broken souls. Yang Wu simply stopped attacking. He activated the black tortoise battle armor and rammed into the skeletons. He was like a black tortoise breaking through the waves. The attacks from the skeletons couldn't break through the black tortoise battle armor. Those broken souls couldn't hurt his battle soul either. This kind of pressure wasn't too big for him. He could force his way through. The skeletons were piled up like a mountain. As he went on, the skeletons of peak minor saints appeared. They were incomparably hard. Every attack was like a small saint weapon. The power was much stronger than the skeletons at the beginning. These attacks were still unable to break through Yang Wu's black tortoise armor. Furthermore, the ferocious spirits that were charging at him were clearly much more ferocious. The battle soul had no choice but to focus and chase them away. At this time, Yang Wu stopped and murmured, "These skeletons aren't strong. They have the advantage in numbers. Fighting with them won't challenge my limit. It's better to use this opportunity to train my defense." Thus, Yang Wu sat down cross-legged. The black tortoise battle armor circulated around his body, blocking the attacks from harming him. The black tortoise was known as the spirit beast with the strongest defense. Its black tortoise armor had the ability to deflect force. It could deflect more than half of the force from many attacks, and the remaining force would not be able to break through the toughest armor. Asterisk clang 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 asterisk. The bone blades of the skeletons kept hitting on the battle armor, producing crisp sounds. They couldn't break through the defense. Yang Wu activated the black tortoise battle armor to consume his energy. There were countless skeletons. They took turns to attack him. Under the waves of bone blades, cracks appeared on the black tortoise battle armor. Yang Wu thought, even the strongest battle armor can't withstand repeated attack. I have to change my passive defense to active defense. Perhaps this is the strongest defense. Chapter 834. The Heavenly Palace's Battle Mound. This was one of the training grounds for the juniors of the Heavenly Palace. Even though it was not as good as before, it was still enough to test Yang Wu and Jiang Ping. Yang Wu sat cross-legged among the skeletons for 7 days and 7 nights. Countless skeletons kept hitting him, and each hit was comparable to the power of a minor saint. As the saying goes, dripping water can penetrate a stone. No matter how strong Yang Wu's defense was, it could not withstand these skeletons hitting him day and night. While enduring such pressure, Yang Wu understood the mystery of the black tortoise armor. The black tortoise armor was in the shape of the 8 trigrams. Every strand of battle chi flowed like a formation, which could deflect most of the attack power. The key was how much was deflected to minimize the damage of these attacks. Before this, Yang Wu's defense could only deflect 1/3 of the attack power, and then rely on the hard armor to block the rest of the attack power. After 7 days and 7 nights of practice, he understood that the black tortoise armor could move, just like the 8 trigrams formation. Every strand of Xian Qi flowed on the armor. When an attack fell, the flowing Xian Qi would deflect the attack power, so the attack power would be reduced, and the defense would be stronger. On the first day, Yang Wu could deflect 50% of the attack power of the skeletons. On the second day, Yang Wu could deflect 50% of the attack power of the skeletons. On the third day, Yang Wu could deflect 60% of the attack power of the skeletons. On the 7th day, he could deflect 80% of the attack power of the skeletons, and the remaining 20% could not cause any harm to him. Not only that, when he deflected the attack power, he could also rebound the attack power of the skeletons. After reaching this step, Yang Wu was very satisfied. He stood up and maintained the black tortoise armor's flowing state. With a faint smile on his face, he said, "The greatest secret of the black tortoise armor is the deflecting force. This is the foundation of active defensive power. Perhaps I can go one step further." For Yang Wu, the consumption of 7 days and 7 nights was not as great as he had imagined. The energy contained in his dantian was comparable to that of a half-step saint. Moreover, the skeletons he faced were only minor saints. Therefore, the pressure of attacking wasn't great. Moreover, he didn't need to counterattack. Therefore, the energy he consumed was very little. As for those malicious spirits, there were not as many corpses. The malicious spirits in the vicinity had long been wiped out by Yang Wu's fighting soul. Yang Wu continued forward, and the skeletons around him were scattered by the power of his body. No matter how many of them there were, they were just piles of skeletons. Their combat power was not even comparable to the minor saint puppet. How could they block Yang Wu's path? Yang Wu continued forward for 5 miles. The skeletons he encountered were all high-level and peak minor saint skeletons. The malicious spirits he faced were also more brutal. Yang Wu sat down cross-legged and began to cultivate again. Facing the stronger attacks of the skeletons, his black tortoise armor could only deflect 60% of the opponent's attack power. He had to continue to train and achieve the 100% deflecting force he wanted. Only then would his defensive power be stronger when facing stronger opponents. With the previous 7 days and 7 nights of training, Yang Wu had become more familiar with the deflecting force of the black tortoise armor. Very soon, his deflecting force had increased from 60% to 80%. The attacks of the skeletons still couldn't hurt him. As for those malicious spirits, he used the Soul Control Heart Sutra to cultivate the defensive technique, which was how to effectively deflect soul force attacks. No matter if it was his physical body or soul, it would be a good thing for him if his defensive power could increase by 1 level. Yang Wu stood up again and went deeper. He seemed to feel that there was something calling him from the depths. Maybe it was an inheritance that could make him stronger, or maybe it was something that was related to him. Half-saint skeletons and malicious spirits appeared. Their attack power was multiplied. Numerous attacks landed on Yang Wu's black tortoise armor. The powerful deflecting force deflected their attack. This time, Yang Wu faced a stronger attack. He deflected 70% of the force, leaving only 30% of the force on the armor. Still, it couldn't cause any harm to him. He didn't stop and continued to go deeper. The number of skeletons had decreased, but they were getting stronger. There were even saint skeletons. Sacred-level skeletons were completely different from ordinary skeletons. Their skeletons were tougher and had different colors. Some were yellow, some were red. These colors represented the kind of profound energy they cultivated. Profound energy had long since tempered their skeletons into sacred skeletons, making them eternally immortal. Saint skeletons were so powerful that their skeletons were comparable to divine weapons. 2 saint skeletons attacked Yang Wu. Yang Wu's defensive power was cut open like paper. He was so scared that he had no choice but to retreat. Otherwise, he would be injured by the saint skeletons. The other saint skeletons attacked him from the front and back. Unless Yang Wu resisted, it would be difficult for him to resist with his defensive power. Yang Wu composed himself and murmured, "Come, I'll use you to temper my defensive power to perfection." Yang Wu sat down cross-legged again and mobilized the black tortoise armor. Waves of Xian Qi flowed continuously like an 8 trigrams array. It had supreme power. Bang bang! The saint skeletons attacked again. Yang Wu's diverting force could only divert 30% of the power. 70% of the power affected his body. In an instant, a bloody mark was left on his body. He couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. His body was of the innate embryo body and had become a half-step saint. However, it still couldn't block the attacks of the saint skeletons. Anything related to the word saint couldn't be underestimated. The other Saint Skeleton's attacks also fell from different directions. It was like a bone knife hitting a tortoise shell. Once the shell was broken, Yang Wu would be in danger. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was running wildly, and the power of the ultimate circulatory cycle was unleashed. The celestial chi on the black tortoise armor was running wildly like an 8 trigrams formation, and the power of the attacks was negated. This time, the diverting force had reached 40%, but 60% still affected his body. It shattered his muscles and opened up his wounds, causing blood to seep out. This kind of pain stimulated Yang Wu's nerve. He unceasingly urged the profound formula, escaping the trajectory of the extreme circulatory cycle over and over again. In his mind, he also unceasingly meditated on the flow of the 8 trigrams diagram. What should he do in order to display the diverting force to the extreme? Previously, he was able to increase the diverting force because he found the trick. However, it was still not perfect. He needed the most correct way to circulate the diverting force in order to maximize the defensive power of the diverting force. As he circulated the diverting force again and again, he understood the trajectories of the diverting force like the back of his hand. However, he was still unable to divert more than 50% of the Saint Skeleton's attack power. At this time, there were no less than 100 wounds on his body. Even his bones were exposed. It was a shocking sight. If this continued, he would definitely be beaten to death by these Saint Skeletons. Yang Wu didn't want to die. He only wanted to comprehend the defense. He used the black tortoise armor again and again. The injuries on his body healed and healed again and again. This repeated endlessly. As the defense energy on his body became stronger and stronger, the injuries he received also became smaller and smaller. The profound chi flowing in his black tortoise battle armor was reversing. This was an inconceivable state. The diverting force produced by the 8 trigrams array rapidly increased. Not only was it able to divert more than half of the force, it was also able to rebound the remaining force. This was a shocking discovery. Yang Wu was in a state of enlightenment. His fighting soul looked at the black tortoise armor. Every movement of the armor was changing, flowing faster, reversing the power of the armor even faster. The defense of the armor was gradually showing its power. At this time, the attacks of the Saint Skeletons landed on the black tortoise battle armor. Their bodies were tilted to the side by the diverting force, or they attacked the Saint Skeletons beside them. They were no longer able to cause too much damage to Yang Wu. The diverting force had reached its peak. Even the Saint Skeletons couldn't hurt him in the slightest. The defensive force on Yang Wu's body boiled. The 8 trigrams chi surged like a river. It was as if there was a black tortoise facing a huge wave. No matter how it slapped, it couldn't hurt him in the slightest. The defensive power of the black tortoise battle armor had reached a perfect level. Yang Wu's injuries gradually recovered. He opened his eyes and muttered, "This is the strongest defensive state of the black tortoise battle armor." Yang Wu was very satisfied with his current state. The nearby Saint Skeletons couldn't hurt him anymore. He was confident that he wouldn't be afraid if he encountered any stronger Saint Skeletons. He continued to operate the diverting force freely. Before the Saint Skeletons could get close to him, they were reversed by the diverting force and kept spinning. The vengeful souls that lunged over became more and more powerful, and the soul-mastering sutra showed a different side. Its way of defense was to activate the Divine Court Dao Flower, which covered every corner of the Divine Court and blocked the attacks of the vengeful souls. Unless he encountered an extremely powerful vengeful soul, it was impossible to harm him. Yang Wu forced his way forward for several miles. All he encountered were Saint Skeletons. They were all dead. Without chi attacks, they couldn't pose any threat to him anymore. Just as Yang Wu was about to pass through the land of corpses, he suddenly discovered that there was a black and white chi flowing in an area. A look of surprise appeared on his face as he quickly rushed over to that place. Soon, he found that it was a pile of mutated bone marrow. One was white and the other was black. The two colors were distinct. The Saint Shi on it hadn't completely disappeared. He couldn't help but exclaim, This is yin and yang bone marrow? Yang Wu squatted down and carefully looked at the bone marrow. He quickly determined that it was the extremely rare yin and yang bone marrow. He couldn't help but laugh. Beautiful military advisor can be saved. The next moment, he put away the yin and yang bone marrow. When he had just collected half of it, he suddenly found a small plant covered in the bone marrow. Its petals flowed with white and black colors. Traces of black and white qi intertwined with each other. It was very sacred. Yin and yang saint flower! Yang Wu exclaimed. Yang Wu came to the transcendent realm and obtained a lot of herbs. He also saw many saint medicines. However, this was the first time he saw the yin and yang saint flower. This was the saint medicine he had been searching for. It was related to the life and death of the beautiful military advisor. Chapter 835. Beautiful Military Advisor Lu Ji. This was a man who was more beautiful than a beauty. He had a congenital defect that made it difficult for him to live for long. He met Yang Wu and Little He. He followed Yang Wu and obtained the Yin-Yang Immortal Code to cultivate. This was one of the supreme immortal arts. When Yang Wu passed it to him, he only hoped that it could strengthen his physique and extend his life. However, it was difficult to make up for his congenital defects with an immortal art. Yang Wu obtained a large number of alchemy recipes from Little He. Among them, there was the Yin-Yang Saint Pill that could make up for Lu Ji's Yin-Yang physique. In order to refine the Yin-Yang Saint Pill, not only did it require a large number of herbs, but it also required a guiding ingredient and a main ingredient. The guiding ingredient was the yin-yang bone marrow in front of Yang Wu, and the main ingredient was the yin-yang saint flower. Yang Wu couldn't find these two holy objects in the Yang family or War God City. He didn't expect to find them in the Heavenly Palace's War Tomb. This was great luck, and Lu Ji's life wasn't meant to end. Just as Yang Wu was about to put away these two holy objects, a battle aura shadow appeared. A voice rang out, If you want to take the holy objects, you have to fight me first. A shadow appeared. He couldn't see what it looked like. He only knew that it was a human figure. It was tall and mighty, and overflowed with battle aura. It wasn't a real creature, nor was it a malicious spirit, nor was it a puppet. It was more like a force of will. The War Tomb's battle spirit. This was the strongest test in the War Tomb. The battle spirit didn't give Yang Wu any time to recover. It was as if the power of heaven and earth was under its control. Its fist was like a river of sunset, extremely domineering. The battle spirit's attack wasn't inferior to any half-step sage's. Its aura even surpassed that of an ordinary half-step sage, reaching the peak of the half-step sage realm. Yin-Yang bone marrow, Yin-Yang flower, and other holy objects that weren't protected by a battle spirit at the saint level were already very generous to Yang Wu. Yang Wu met the battle head-on. He also punched out and collided with the battle spirit. Bang! Yang Wu didn't hold back at all. When his fist strength came into contact with his opponent's attack, his fist strength was broken apart by his opponent. He was shaken back by the strength of the battle spirit, nearly falling to the ground. The battle spirit wasn't affected at all. It rushed forwards like a shadow, crazily smashing its fists at Yang Wu. Zhan Ling's fist techniques were extremely powerful. Each of his fists carried with them a vast amount of heaven and earth profound energy. The power of his fists was vast and mighty, and any mountain that was struck by these fists would be turned into dust. The battle spirit's offensive was too fierce. Yang Wu didn't even have time to fight back. All he could do was use the defense dispelling technique he had comprehended before. When these fist skills fell onto Yang Wu's black tortoise battle armor, the battle spirit's attacks were immediately dispelled. There was no way for it to injure Yang Wu. Yang Wu was in an invincible position by virtue of this defensive ability. He also had room to counterattack. He shouted out, "Since you're already dead, don't cause any more trouble." Yang Wu erupted with his full strength. He blasted out with the martial god's fist, using his most formidable combat strength to meet the battle spirit. Even a dead man is stronger than a living person like you." The battle spirit sneered. He increased the power of his attack. His attacks were faster and more ruthless. An ordinary half-saint absolutely wouldn't be so fierce. Yang Wu went all out, but his strength was far inferior to his opponent's. He was forced back again and again. If it weren't for his formidable defensive ability, he would have been turned into a bloody pulp by this battle spirit. He's too strong. If I enter the dragon transformation realm, I'll be able to contend with him. Yang Wu thought to himself. He wasn't discouraged. He even released the Zhenwu boxing. He had just comprehended the true Zhenwu boxing and hadn't been able to display its true might. The Zhenwu boxing contained the power of the rising sun and moon. It could swallow mountains and rivers, destroy the heavens and earth. It possessed a supreme imperial might. Yang Wu's martial arts will fused into the martial god's fist. The Zhenwu boxing intent erupted with an unparalleled strength. The stronger the opponent, the stronger the willpower he displayed. Pung pung. Yang Wu punched out again and again, as if he regarded the battle spirit as his mortal enemy. He attacked with all his might. The vast and mighty strength in his dantian was endlessly drawn out. The surrounding heaven and earth profound energy constantly condensed on his fists. His fists were like the sun and moon, unstoppable. Every time Yang Wu and the battle spirit collided, the distance between them became shorter and shorter. The first punch forced him back 500 feet. The second punch forced him back 450 feet. The third punch forced him back 400 feet. After exchanging 99 punches, Yang Wu's strength was finally equal to the battle spirit's. As the two continued to clash, he didn't retreat even half a step. At the 100th punch, Yang Wu's fists were dripping with blood. Even his bones were exposed. He looked extremely pitiful. Fight to the end. Yang Wu only had a single thought. He knew that only by defeating this battle spirit would he be able to obtain the Yin-Yang Saint Flower and Yin-Yang Bone Marrow. He didn't want to break his promise to the beautiful military advisor. In this battle, he could only win, not lose. At the 108th punch, Yang Wu's gathered strength boiled to the extreme. Profound energy flowed through his meridians like rivers and starlight shone from his acupoints like stars. The barbarian god's arm swept out and a black tortoise seemed to break through the water. It rode the wind and waves, rushing into the highest heavens. Even the heavens were covered by it. The battle spirit realized that this was the final move. Its fighting spirit soared, stirring up the fighting spirit contained within the war tomb. It was like heavenly soldiers and generals had appeared, overlooking all life. Wherever they pointed their weapons, who in the world could match them? When the battle spirit attacked, the heavenly palace was invincible. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble rumbled through the world. Countless bones were flipped over, and many of them were turned to dust. The disturbance caused by the two of them was just too great. Yang Wu was blasted back once more. His entire arm was dyed red, but he still waved it forward, not backing down in the slightest. The battle spirit was beaten back for the first time. Its figure became illusory as it left behind a single sentence. "The sacred object is yours." In the next moment it disappeared from this world. Yang Wu let out a sigh of relief. He looked at his nearly crippled arm and bitterly smiled. Is this really a test for all Heavenly Palace disciples? Yang Wu adjusted his breathing and his arm slowly recovered. He could finally collect the Yin-Yang Saint Flower and Yin-Yang Bone Marrow with a peace of mind. When he finished, the environment changed. A giant stone stele appeared in front of him. The stone stele was like a sword, piercing into the highest heavens. Yang Wu stood in front of the stone stele. He was like an insignificant creature that couldn't be any more insignificant. After passing the battle tomb's test, You can see the heavenly palace's sword steel. You can leave your name on the steel and become an official disciple of the heavenly palace. Hao Ren's voice faintly sounded out. Yang Wu walked towards the sword steel with large strides. He asked his master, who was standing there, "Master, what benefits do I get from becoming a heavenly palace disciple?" "The heavenly palace is invincible. Anyone would be honored to become a heavenly palace disciple. What other benefits do you want?" Hao Ren unhappily said. "But the heavenly palace no longer exists." Yang Wu said. "Pung." Yang Wu didn't even have time to react before he was sent flying by Hao Ren's palm. Yang Wu's body fiercely slammed into the heavenly palace's sword steel. He spat out a mouthful of blood onto the sword steel, and his entire body was in unbearable pain. "The heavenly palace will never be destroyed," Hao Ren coldly said. This time, Yang Wu was also angry. Originally, it was the other party who had forcefully taken him in as a disciple. Now that the relationship between the two of them had been confirmed, he was still so ruthless towards him. He also had his dignity. Ignoring his injuries, he turned around and angrily roared, "You might as well just kill me. You dog fart master, do you still have any humanity? Beating people without saying a word, I don't want to be your disciple." After saying this, Yang Wu closed his eyes, waiting for the other party to get angry and kill him. In any case, in front of the other party, it would be difficult for him to escape. He was only worried that the other party wouldn't ruthlessly kill off you. "Haha, you have a bit of a temper. That's more like it. If a man doesn't have a temper, then he's just like a good-for-nothing, forever without any future prospects." Hao Ren laughed loudly. Then, without caring whether Yang Wu was willing or not, he controlled Yang Wu's finger and forced Yang Wu to write his bloody name on the steel. "You demon!" Yang Wu couldn't help but curse loudly. The two words, Yang Wu, were engraved on the sword steel. The sword steel released a faint light that was hard to detect. Hao Ren pressed Yang Wu to his knees and said faintly, "Yang Wu is the first disciple of the heavenly palace of the 9999th generation. He will inherit the mission of the heavenly palace and restore the name of the heavenly palace. His might will shake the four seas and dominate the world." Yang Wu was incomparably sullen. Tanger had gold under his knees, so how could he kneel just because he wanted to? However, in front of absolute strength, he was helpless. He cursed loudly, "You madman." Hao Ren said disapprovingly, "If I inherit the mission, then I'll let you go. I won't inherit it. I don't want to be your disciple, and I don't want to become a disciple of the heavenly palace." Yang Wu said unyieldingly, "Then I'll go kill your wife." Hao Ren said coldly. Yang Wu immediately swore, "I am willing to inherit the mission of the heavenly palace and restore the name of the heavenly palace. My might will shake the four seas and dominate the world. I will have no regrets." Hao Ren released Yang Wu and smiled with satisfaction. "That's more like it. From today onwards, you will be the first disciple of the 9999th generation of my heavenly palace. You will also be my, Hao Ren's, only disciple." After pausing for a moment, he said, "I will pass on everything I have learned to you. This is the greatest benefit I can give you." Yang Wu helplessly nodded and didn't say anything. His heart was filled with anger. If it weren't for the fact that Zuu was here, even if he had to die, he wouldn't be willing to admit his current identity. "I know you are very unhappy, but this is the first lesson your master will teach you. In this world, the only thing that can be reasoned with is your own fist. If your fist isn't hard enough, then you can only be manipulated by others. Any resistance you have will be in vain." Hao Ren said with his hands behind his back, "When you surpass your master in the future, your master will be at your mercy. You don't have that ability right now, so it's best if you put away this thought and properly learn the Heavenly Palace's most profound technique, the Heavenly Profound Technique." After saying this, Haoren pointed at the space between Yang Wu's eyebrows. A wisp of power from the inheritance of memories entered Yang Wu's divine hall. Yang Wu's mind quickly filled with all the chants of the heavenly profound technique. This was the heavenly palace's most profound secret. Chapter 836. Heavenly Profound Formula. This was the foundation of the heavenly palace and was one of the strongest profound formulas in the transcendent world. When the heavenly palace was destroyed, there were rumors that it was because the major powers wanted to seize the heavenly profound formula. No one knew whether this was true or not, but it was enough to prove its importance. Yang Wu memorized the heavenly profound formula. This profound formula was divided into 12 levels, and each level corresponded to a stage of cultivation. Cultivating the heavenly profound formula to a perfect stage meant that one could step into the peak of strength. Yang Wu could feel that this profound formula was extraordinary, but it was useless to him. He had already cultivated the Regal 9 profound formula and could not cultivate any other profound formula. Little Hay had already warned him. He believed that Little Hay would not lie to him. From today onwards, you will abandon your original profound formula and cultivate the heavenly profound formula instead. Start cultivating from the first stage and wait until you reach the 5th stage before your master will teach you other things. Haoren said in an unquestionable tone. Yang Wu hurriedly called out to Haoren, "Master, I may have failed to live up to your expectations." Haoren frowned. "What do you mean? Master did not say it clearly enough? Do you really think I want you to be my disciple?" Yang Wu hurriedly waved his hand. "That is not what I meant. I cannot cultivate any other profound formula. Please forgive me, Master." Haoren laughed heartily. "Do you know how many experts in the domain drool over the heavenly mystery technique? Even old monster Tongtian of the Jade Moon Realm is no exception. You brat, don't tell me you don't care about it? Could it be that you cultivate the lost 9 heavens and 10 earths technique, or the unique and righteous skill?" Yang Wu said seriously, "None of them. The profound arts I cultivate have a special characteristic, and that is, after cultivating it, I can't cultivate any other profound art." "Are you playing with me?" Haoren shouted angrily. "Master, I really do not dare to lie to you. Everything I said is true. What kind of profound formula are you cultivating? Could it be one of those ancient forbidden profound formulas? It's called the Supreme 9 Profound Arts. It's a profound art that requires the collection of 9 types of profound essence in the world. The name sounds scary, but to find 9 kinds of mysterious essence chi in this world is simply a fool's dream. There's nothing I can do about it. Who told me to not meet you earlier, Master? Where did you get this profound formula from?" "When I was sent to the mountain prison, I obtained it by chance. At that time, my Dantian was completely destroyed. It was with this that I was able to rebuild my Dantian." After Yang Wu confessed everything to Haoren, Haoren finally believed in Yang Wu's words. He revealed a pensive expression. Yang Wu obediently stood to the side, not daring to anger his master again for fear that he would be slapped to death. After a long time, Haoren said, "You were able to improve so quickly because of this profound art?" Yang Wu nodded. "Yes." "Circulate it with all your strength and let me see." Haoren said. Yang Wu didn't say anything else and circulated the Supreme 9 Profound Arts at full speed. The mysterious essence chi of heaven and earth from all directions quickly surged towards him. Haoren's strength was very strong. He immediately sensed that Yang Wu's speed of absorbing the mysterious essence chi of heaven and earth was much higher than ordinary profound arts. Even if he cultivated the heaven profound arts to the 5th level, it would still be inferior. "Something strange," Haoren muttered. He stretched out a hand and pressed it on Yang Wu's shoulder. This gave Yang Wu a big fright, thinking that his master was going to do something to him. "You continue," Haoren said. Yang Wu calmed his mind and continued to circulate the Supreme 9 Profound Arts. The Supreme Nine Profound Arts merged 3 types of mysterious essence chi. It could only allow him to cultivate to the heavenly fish realm. If he wanted to cross the dragon transformation realm, it would be very difficult. He had to find the next type of mysterious essence chi. Yang Wu didn't hesitate to expose the Supreme Nine Profound Arts. He hoped to borrow his master's hand to help him find the 4th type of mysterious essence chi. Hao Ren was one of the top people in the transcendent realm. His perception was very sharp. When he touched Yang Wu, he could clearly feel the circulation path of Yang Wu's profound arts. He was surprised to find that Yang Wu's martial body was so perfect. Moreover, the circulation path of the profound arts was different from the rest. He couldn't help but say, "What a mysterious profound art!" "Master, I didn't lie to you, right?" Yang Wu said nervously. Hao Ren let go of Yang Wu and didn't pay attention to Yang Wu. His eyebrows wrinkled. Not long after, he relaxed and said, "This profound art of yours is very overbearing. However, if you want to gather all 9 types of mysterious essence chi, it's almost impossible." "It can't be. I've already obtained 3 types of mysterious essence chi. I only need to find 6 more. The world is so big. Is mysterious essence chi really that rare?" Yang Wu cried out in surprise. Hao Ren said, "Every type of mysterious essence chi has to be formed in an incomparably harsh environment. You being able to obtain 3 types is definitely a great fortune. As far as I know, in the past 100,000 years, the number of known mysterious essence chi can be counted on one hand. Moreover, those known mysterious essence chi have long been refined by others. You still want to find 6 types in order to perfect this profound art of yours. This is undoubtedly a fool's dream." Yang Wu's expression greatly changed. He said in grief, "Could it be that my life is destined to be like this? I'll give you 3 days to cultivate the heaven profound art and see if it has any effect." Hao Ren said after thinking for a while. Yang Wu shook his head and said, "It's no use. When I obtained the regal 9 profound arts, it was clearly recorded. Once I cultivate it, I can't change any other profound arts. If that's the case, then between you and me, there's only the name of master and disciple. There's no real relationship between master and disciple," Hao Ren said with a trace of depression. He had gone through untold hardships to find a good seedling to inherit the Heavenly Palace's inheritance, but he never thought that it would end up like this. He had observed Yang Wu's performance. Whether it was character or talent, they were both outstanding. As long as he carefully trained him, he would definitely become a great talent. Unfortunately, it was ruined by a profound art. Although Hao Ren was very strict with Yang Wu, in reality, he had high hopes for Yang Wu. Yang Wu seized the opportunity and said, "Master may not know, but the regal 9 profound arts is very mysterious. It can sense the existence of mysterious essence chi. The 3 types of mysterious essence chi that I found before were found by relying on this mysterious feeling." Hao Ren raised his old eyebrows and said, "Really?" His old eyes released a sharp light that looked extremely frightening. It was as if Yang Wu dared to lie to him, his eyes could kill Yang Wu. Yang Wu replied with absolute certainty, "I definitely wouldn't dare to lie to master." "Good, if you can really sense the existence of mysterious essence chi, then this profound art of yours still has its merit. Even if it can't compare to the heavenly profound arts, it shouldn't be too far off." Hao Ren's expression slightly relaxed as he said, "I already have an idea of the 4th type of mysterious essence chi. I hope master can lend me a hand." Yang Wu slightly bowed and said, "You little brat, you really know how to play along." What kind of person was Hao Ren? He immediately saw through Yang Wu's thoughts, but he wasn't angry. He continued to say, "Let's not talk about the mysterious essence chi for now. You have already become my heavenly palace's disciple, so you should first understand what kind of power my heavenly palace is." Finished speaking, He pointed a finger at Yang Wu, and a majestic thought entered Yang Wu's mind. A magnificent scene immediately appeared in Yang Wu's mind. The heavenly palace was like a paradise in the heavens. It occupied the position of 9 palaces gathering cauldron, and was a top-notch paradise. Incomparably pure heaven-earth profound chi gathered in the eye of 9 palaces. Every corner of the paradise was blessed. Those who cultivated here could achieve twice the results with half the effort and grow very quickly. Ancient celestial palaces towered here, and countless experts lived here. Countless spirit demons became their mount. The men were handsome and tall, while the women were beautiful. Each one of them held their own and had the ability to dominate an area. Among them, there were a few almighty heavenly palace experts. Each one of them was a character whose name shook the world. There were a total of 99 of them, known as the 99 Heavenly Palace Masters. Each of the Palace Masters had their own duties and, together with the other 9 Palace Masters, formed the strongest Heavenly Palace. This kind of power received the worship of various forces in the transcendent world. Its status was incomparably high. Unfortunately, one day, the 9 great Palace Masters disappeared along with the 99 Heavenly Palace Masters. The Heavenly Palace's vitality was greatly damaged, and it became a fat piece of meat for the various great forces. The various great forces sent out their Heavenly Palace experts to destroy the Heavenly Palace and seize everything from it. The Heavenly Palace was destroyed because of this. Only a few people escaped from that disaster. It was almost impossible to restore the Heavenly Palace to its former glory. Hao Ren was the only remaining member of the Heavenly Palace. He inherited the Heavenly Palace's mission. On one hand, he was searching for the mystery of the 9 great Palace Masters and the 99 Heavenly Palace Masters' disappearance. On the other hand, he was looking for the various Heavenly Palace Masters who were sent flying. The Heavenly Palace had been destroyed, so finding a successor was not an easy task. To him, it was more about the word fate. He and Yang Wu were connected by fate, so he wanted to accept Yang Wu as his disciple. Jiang Ping was connected by fate with the 3 Pristines Palace, so he was also connected by fate with the Heavenly Palace. However, with Jiang Ping's personality, he was unable to take on the heavy responsibility of reviving the Heavenly Palace. At most, he could only become Yang Wu's right-hand man. Yang Wu spent half a day digesting the general situation of the Heavenly Palace. He was very puzzled that there was no scene of the Heavenly Palace being destroyed by the various great forces. He guessed that Hao Ren was not in the Heavenly Palace at the time, so he missed the battle. Do you now know how glorious our Heavenly Palace was? Hao Ren's words sounded in Yang Wu's ears. Yang Wu nodded lightly and said, I understand, Master. I don't have extravagant hopes that you can lead the Heavenly Palace back to its original size, but I hope that you can start by announcing the return of our Heavenly Palace. Those enemies who participated in the destruction of our Heavenly Palace should tremble in fear. Hao Ren revealed a domineering expression. His disdainful gaze was filled with horror. Master, who are our enemies? Yang Wu asked. The entire world is our enemy. What do you mean? Please forgive this disciple's stupidity. It means that all the great forces in the world are our enemies. On the surface, only the Heavenly Bamboo Temple, Evil Buddha Temple, King of Hell's Hall, Long Life Temple. These great forces participated in the destruction of our Heavenly Palace's people. In fact, there were many old bastards from other great forces who also participated. They all deserve to die. Chapter 837. The Heavenly Palace had existed for who knows how many years, but it was destroyed in a single night. Now that the world had changed, wanting to revive the Heavenly Palace was easier said than done. Hao Ren also didn't think that he could revive the Heavenly Palace in a single day. He only hoped to find a youth with the temperament of a leader and rebuild the foundation of the Heavenly Palace. This was the most crucial step, and also the most difficult step. Everything was difficult at the beginning. After Yang Wu heard that the heavenly palace had so many terrifying enemies, he was speechless. He couldn't help but cry out, "The heavenly palace is the enemy of the entire world. How can we take revenge?" Yang Wu wasn't a fool. He was smarter than anyone else. If joining the heavenly palace was so troublesome, he definitely wouldn't want to join. Humph, let's not talk about the past for now. But one day, when our heavenly palace reaches the peak, those culprits will naturally come and admit their guilt. Right now, you only need to show that you are stronger and more outstanding than the descendants of other powers. You don't need to do anything else. Howren coldly snorted. He then continued, "Everyone in the heavenly palace has their own path to walk. Since you can't inherit the heavenly profound arts, I'll pass on a few battle skills to you. Otherwise, you'll say that I didn't teach you anything." Without waiting for Yang Wu's response, another strand of inheritance power entered the space between Yang Wu's eyebrows. Soon, 3 battle skills appeared in Yang Wu's mind. They were the Stellar Sword Arts, the Stick Spear Arts, and the 1,000 Transformations Fist. Sword, spear, and fist, these 3 battle skills were all sacred skills. Without stepping into the dragon transformation realm, they couldn't be cultivated. Yang Wu hadn't stepped into the dragon transformation realm, but he had battle strength comparable to a half-step sage. He could also cultivate them. These battle skills seemed to be tailor-made for Yang Wu. He was proficient in these 3 types of martial arts. Yang Wu was in a good mood. He bowed to Howren and said, "Many thanks for Master's teachings. Don't be in such a hurry to thank me. Next, use your most powerful attack. Master will first see what kind of trump cards you have." Howren expressionlessly said, "Yes, Master." Yang Wu responded and began his solo performance. He displayed all his combat skills and talents without holding anything back. Barbarian God's Fist, Martial God's Fist, Dragon Reverse Spear Art, Meteor Sword Art. Yang Wu performed every battle skill perfectly, and he also helped the Zhenwu Boxing and the Fist of Death. Howren's old eyes flickered with excitement. He thought to himself, "This boy's attacks are relatively simple, but he has comprehended 2 different kinds of martial arts. His perception is truly excellent. It's a pity that he has only comprehended a little bit. If he could upgrade his martial arts' true meanings, his potential would be even more extraordinary. What a pity, what a pity! Master, your disciple has finished practicing." After Yang Wu finished demonstrating his cultivation, he felt very satisfied. 10 more years of cultivation time in the God of War Pagoda was extremely precious. It allowed him to perfect his foundation even more. So. Howren gave his evaluation. Yang Wu was depressed. Could it be that his master's standards were really that high? Next, Master will teach you combat skills and help you reach a higher level. Howren said, "Master, isn't this too rushed? My wife is still waiting for me." Yang Wu hurriedly said, "You don't have to worry about her. Master has given her a great opportunity. Her talent is not inferior to yours. If she is properly trained, she will be a great help to you in the future." Howren replied. He didn't care whether Yang Wu agreed or not. He began to talk about some of his cultivation experiences. When a saint preached, all things were silent. When a heavenly deity preached, a vision appeared. When Howren preached, the stars moved. Every word of his was like the evening drum and the morning bell. Yang Wu quietly entered the world of listening. Every word gave him great inspiration. Every sentence was like the vast expanse of stars, full of mysterious truths. This kind of profound feeling was impossible to capture. Yang Wu entered a meditative state. From the martial soldier realm to the celestial fish realm, there were cultivation experiences at every stage. They verified his right and wrong, giving him a sense of enlightenment. He discovered his own strengths and weaknesses. From the small saint realm to the saint realm, it was a whole new world. The celestial fish transformed into a dragon, the stars flickered, The jade moon was like a flower. In addition to the enlightenment and comprehension of the realm, there were also unique insights on combat skills. Martial cultivation focused on the cultivation of the heart. With a righteous heart and a calm mind, one could fight with righteousness. If one's heart was in a mess, one's moves would be chaotic. Only when one could control one's moves freely and the great Tao was simple, that was the highest definition of martial arts. These principles that started from the shallow to the deep were like rivers flowing into the sea, gradually becoming vast and boundless. The stars moved and the sun and moon rotated. The surrounding grass turned into spirits, and the spirit grass became kings. All living things became full of vitality. The great Tao was different, but they all led to the same destination. The martial Tao, the Tao of life, they were all the same Tao. There were thousands of Taos, but Taos were all one, difficult to distinguish. Hao Ren was an old monster who had lived for countless years. It had been many years since he spoke of the Tao. 10,000 years of Tao accumulated in his heart, creating a shocking phenomenon. In Yang Wu's universe space, there was an innate ice gourd. Inside the ice gourd was a little girl. She was lucky enough to hear Hao Ren's Tao. She fell into a state of enlightenment, as if she had returned to her mother's womb. She grew up in ignorance, watching her parents suffer, watching the changes of life, the changes of the stars. Suddenly, the innate ice gourd flew out from Yang Wu's universe space. It released waves of innate power, absorbing the Tao from all around and pouring it into the little girl's divine court. In an instant, the divine court's Tao flower bloomed. Ice lotuses grew in all directions. There was also a small ice gourd tree that broke through the ground, forming a small ice lotus world. Hao Ren had long finished his Tao lecture. His mind was wandering, accumulating many years of insights into a river. It allowed him to see millions of stars, the brilliance of the sun and moon. His harvest was great. When he came back to his senses, he looked at the small world that formed nearby. His old eyes revealed a happy expression. The Tao has formed a world. Could it be that this old man has really taken that step? However, when he looked carefully, he saw that the ice gourd beside Yang Wu was transmitting an indescribable power. His expression fell. I was happy for nothing. In the next moment, Hao Ren's eyes jumped. 2 strands of divine power shot towards the ice gourd. The ice gourd released waves of icy mist, blocking his vision. Strange, strange, Hao Ren murmured. Hao Ren looked at Yang Wu again and saw that his eyes were still closed, in a state of enlightenment. He didn't say anything and looked towards a certain direction. A doppelganger's divine sense landed in front of the sword steel, and a sorry figure appeared. Haha, I, Jiang Ping, am the most outstanding heaven's pride since ancient times. I passed through many trials and became a disciple of the heavenly palace. Jiang Ping laughed with incomparable excitement. If you didn't have that saint garment, you being able to come here alive is your skill. Hao Ren calmly looked at Jiang Ping and said. When Jiang Ping saw Hao Ren, he quickly knelt down and saluted. Disciple Jiang Ping greets master. Hao Ren looked at Jiang Ping and said, This old man has already emphasized that you are a disciple of the 3 pristines and cannot become my disciple. From now on you can call me martial uncle. Being able to pass the trials is your fortune. Drip your blood on the sword steel, and you will be my heavenly palace's 2nd disciple of the 999th generation. Martial uncle, which senior brother was the first? Jiang Ping asked. Yang Wu. No way, how could that brat pass the trials before me? This is really infuriating. From now on, you can peacefully assist him in restoring our heavenly palace's glory. Humph, wait until he has the qualifications. The 3 pristines inheritance is on you. You can transform into the 3 pristines and cultivate all 3 at the same time. However, if you cultivate too quickly, it won't be good for a solid foundation. Continue tempering yourself in the battle mound. "Hey, Marshal Uncle, you can't do this. I just passed the trials." In another direction of the heavenly palace, there were purple clouds shrouding the area. Streaks of lightning constantly fell like dragons and snakes. This strange scene was clearly different from the rest. The purple cloud hall's Tao field was left behind by the 99 heavenly palace masters. Although this place had long been destroyed, there were still remnants of will left behind. With the support of a brilliant array, it still formed a strange scene for those who cultivated lightning profound energy to cultivate. The 9 palaces gathering cauldron was a natural phenomenon. Although it had been destroyed by the supreme power of the Almighty, after tens of thousands of years of changes, it slowly gathered together again. It was not inferior to the blessed enclave of any major force. A purple figure flashed through the lightning. She was not afraid of the power of the lightning. Purple Yu had the heavenly thunder jade skin body, which was 1 in a million. She had a close relationship with the power of lightning. Not only could she absorb the power of lightning, but every part of her body could also absorb the power of lightning. It was as if she was born with a body of lightning, and could control lightning. The purple clouds and lightning here were an extremely rare variant of lightning. They had a terrifying destructive power. Anyone who was touched by this lightning would die without a doubt. It was amazing that Purple Yu could move freely in this environment. At this moment, she was fighting fiercely with a creature in the purple clouds and lightning. This creature was covered in purple clouds and lightning. Its eyes were emitting a strong evil aura. It had dragon horns on its head and a body like a lion or tiger. It had a ponytail and lightning under its feet. Purple smoke rose. Roar, roar. The creature kept roaring, and the power of lightning around it became more and more violent. Purple Yu was forced to retreat by the creature's power. She was not discouraged. She formed a hand seal, and a battle pattern floated between her eyebrows. An electromagnetic field formed in all directions. The surrounding purple clouds and lightning fell into it and quickly became her magnetic field. In the next moment, the electromagnetic field enveloped the creature. The electromagnetic field could not hurt the creature. Instead, it made the creature confused. It had been with lightning since it was young. Why did the power of lightning no longer listen to its orders? A voice rang out. "Qilin baby, are you willing to be friends with me?" Chapter 838. Yang Wu entered a state of enlightenment for a full 7 days before he slowly woke up. In these 3 days, he digested every word that Hao Ren passed down to him. There weren't many words, but each one was like a pearl, filled with profound truths. It was all-encompassing, and the Tao could transform into a myriad of things. For a time, he only understood half of it. Perhaps as he grew, he would be able to comprehend these great Taos. Just like when he obtained the will of his ancestor on the 12th floor of the God of War Pagoda, he needed time to comprehend it. Yang Wu looked at the meditating old man not far away. He bowed 90 degrees and said, "Many thanks, Master. This is our master and disciple relationship. I can only pass down this much. How far you can grow in the future will depend on your luck." Hao Ren opened his eyes and looked at Yang Wu. Yang Wu firmly said, "I won't disgrace the sect." At this moment, he finally regarded himself as a disciple of the heavenly palace, as Hao Ren's disciple. This master of his had great fortune. Although he was strict with him, he wasn't stingy. He passed down the essence of his life's cultivation to him in one go. This was something that no one could easily do. Hao Ren looked at Yang Wu with satisfaction and said, "You still know how to be grateful. Not bad." After a pause, he said, "What's inside the ice gourd?" Yang Wu discovered that the ice gourd had unknowingly appeared outside his body. He heavily slapped his forehead and said, "My little sister is inside." The next moment, he said to the ice gourd, "Little Nan Nan, come out." At the same time, he discovered that the ice gourd was surrounded by many ice lotuses and a gourd vine tree. He didn't understand what was going on. The ice gourd swayed and flashed with multicolored light. Little Nan Nan appeared outside the ice gourd. She had a confused expression as she said, "Big brother, you called for me?" Without waiting for Yang Wu to respond, a force bound Nan Nan and swept her in Hao Ren's direction. Yang Wu shouted in alarm, "Master, please be merciful." Hao Ren's eyes glowed as he looked at the little Nan Nan. The little Nan Nan looked back at him with a timid face. The big eyes stared at the little eyes, which was particularly interesting. "Grandpa, are you a bad person?" Little Nan Nan asked in a mosquito-like voice. "Ha ha, how could Grandpa be a bad person? Look at Grandpa's righteous face, upright and chivalrous. He doesn't even want to trample an ant to death. He's a good person who can't be any better." Hao Ren revealed a rare smile. Yang Wu's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. He exclaimed in his heart, "Is this old man really my master?" The impression that Hao Ren gave him was that he was incomparably harsh, strict, and old-fashioned. He wasn't too friendly to him, but he suddenly spoke so amiably to little Nan Nan, which really made him scratch his head. Little Nan Nan tugged at Hao Ren's beard, blinking his innocent eyes as he said, "Grandpa is so kind." After a pause, she retracted her hand and lowered her head. "I'm sorry, Grandpa. I broke your beard." She accidentally broke 3 strands of Hao Ren's beard. Yang Wu's heart was incomparably nervous. Would that guy flip out? Hao Ren stared blankly for a moment before saying without a care, "It's fine, it's fine. Isn't it just a few strands of beard? They'll grow back." "Really? Then can I tug at Nan Nan again?" As long as you like it, I'll let you tug at it every day." Could it be that this old man is a pedophile? Yang Wu's eyes widened as he thought to himself. Other than this conclusion, he couldn't explain why Hao Ren was so good to little Nan Nan. Hao Ren and little Nan Nan teased each other for a while. Yang Wu discovered that Hao Ren didn't have any ill intentions towards little Nan Nan, so he relaxed. Yang Wu walked over and said, "Master, she's my little sister. Can you let her go first?" He was still very afraid that his master was a pedophile. Hao Ren hugged little Nan Nan and smiled. "Very good. She's your little sister, so she's this master's disciple." Then he asked little Nan Nan, "Are you willing to take Grandpa as your master?" Little Nan Nan looked at Yang Wu and asked, "Big brother, what is taking a master?" Yang Wu was stunned for a moment before saying, "It's to follow him in cultivating martial arts. You'll become his disciple and he'll be your master." "Then I don't want it. I just want to follow Big Brother in cultivating," little Nan Nan replied without hesitation. Hao Ren anxiously said, "I'm his master. I'm much stronger than him. He still doesn't have the qualifications to leave my tutelage. But I still want to follow Big Brother. If you follow your master, it won't hinder the feelings between you two. If you both take me as your master, you can often cultivate together. Isn't that good?" "Big brother, will you really always follow Grandpa in cultivating?" "I don't think so. Then I'll always be by Big Brother's side. Yang Wu, from today onwards, you'll cultivate by my side every day." Yang Wu was confused. Just a moment ago, his master had said that he had taught him everything that needed to be taught. The rest would depend on his own luck. Why did he suddenly change his mind? "Master, this isn't too good. Just now," Yang Wu said gloomily. In fact, he quite liked the days of free cultivation. He didn't want to be watched every day. That way, he wouldn't even have his freedom. "Are you the master or am I the master?" Hao Ren said with a serious face. "You're a bad person. Don't yell at my big brother." Little Nan Nan unhappily said. Hao Ren hurriedly whispered, "How is Grandpa a bad person?" "Grandpa is teaching your big brother to respect his master." "You're yelling at Big Brother. You're a bad person. Let go of me," little Nan Nan said with a sobbing tone. Hao Ren was so scared that he panicked. He hurriedly let little Nan Nan go and then continued to lower his attitude and said, Okay. Grandpa will listen to you. I won't yell at your big brother anymore. Is that okay? You can never yell at my big brother. Otherwise I'll cry in front of you. Little Nan Nan pouted her little jade lips and said seriously. Okay. I'll never yell at you. You have to believe that Grandpa is a good person. Do you want to eat the candy Grandpa gave you? No, I want Big Brother. Yang Wu looked at the little Nan Nan who was running back, and then looked at his master, who had a deflated face. He almost laughed out loud. He laughed in his heart and said, "This old fellow also has a day like this. Truly, there is always one thing to conquer another." Yang Wu picked up little Nan Nan and said, "Little Nan Nan, are you hungry?" "I'm not hungry. I still haven't finished eating the candy that Big Brother gave me," little Nan Nan replied. When she entered the ice gourd, Yang Wu gave her some candy to quench her hunger. One candy could keep her from being hungry for 3 days. "Little brat, what kind of candy did you give her?" Howrin couldn't help but shout after hearing this. Little Nan Nan stared at Howrin and said, "You're yelling at Big Brother again. You're a bad person. You're a bad person." Howrin was defeated again. His begging was unable to obtain little Nan Nan's forgiveness. He could only ask Yang Wu for help. Yang Wu turned a blind eye to it. He wanted to test little Nan Nan's position in his master's heart. Howrin said to Yang Wu in a low voice, "My good disciple, you have to prove it for your master. Master has been so good to you. I've just passed on my life's knowledge to you. Who else has been as good to you as your master? This shameless old man. He really has ideas about little Nan Nan. He's too perverted." Yang Wu was even more certain that Howrin had ulterior motives towards little Nan Nan. He said to Howrin, "Master is not bad, but sometimes he's still very fierce to me." "Bad person." Little Nan Nan immediately echoed from the side. She then said, "Big Brother, let's quickly get away from this bad person." Howrin looked at Yang Wu and said, "A strict master produces a fine disciple. If I'm not strict with you, how will you become a capable person in the future?" He then smiled at little Nan Nan and said, "Don't worry, Master will treat you and your sister well in the future. I won't be fierce anymore. If Grandpa is fierce again, how about you pull Grandpa's beard?" "Really?" little Nan Nan asked. "Really?" Howrin patted his chest. Little Nan Nan wasn't stupid. She asked Yang Wu, "Big Brother, what do you think?" Yang Wu also didn't dare to take a foot and an inch. He nodded and said, "We'll trust him this time." Howrin gave Yang Wu a look as if to say, "Brat, at least you're tactful." The next moment Yang Wu added, "If he's fierce to Big Brother again, you'll pull out all of his beard." Little Nan Nan clenched her fists and said, "Listen to Big Brother, pull out all of his beard." Howrin couldn't help but stroke his beard. He complained in his heart, "This time I've met the little ancestor." Howrin naturally wasn't a pedophile. He had taken a fancy to little Nan Nan's physique. She might be the best successor to the heavenly temple. Little Nan Nan had been bored for many days. Yang Wu let her play nearby. Following this, Howrin really did reveal to Yang Wu that little Nan Nan wanted to take him as her master. He wanted Yang Wu to think about her, so as to not ruin little Nan Nan's life. "Shizhuan, you can't always force people to take you as a disciple," Yang Wu said. "Humph, what do you know? The only people who can enter this master's eyes are you and your sister," Howrin said coldly. Yang Wu rubbed his hands and asked, "Shizhuan, you really didn't take little Nan Nan as your disciple because you like her?" "Of course I like this little girl. Otherwise, why would I take her as my disciple?" "Fuck you, old pervert, you won't even let off a child." "Impudent." Bang. Yang Wu was in for a tragedy. He even dared to curse his master. He was sent flying by his master's palm and his bones were almost broken. Little Nan Nan began to cry loudly. Howrin cursed inwardly, "This is bad." He had just promised that he wouldn't be fierce to Yang Wu. Just as he finished speaking, he injured Yang Wu. He couldn't keep his beard. Over the next 2 days, Howren used all kinds of methods to curry favor. He took out candies, spirit flowers, and even found a young spirit monster. However, he couldn't coax little Nan Nan to forgive him. His beard was completely pulled out. Yang Wu finally understood that his master wasn't a pedophile. Rather, he thought highly of little Nanan's talent and wanted to take her as his disciple to inherit the will of the heavenly temple. Yang Wu considered it over and over again before reluctantly agreeing to his master's request to call little Nan Nan to take him as her master. During this time, he ruthlessly extorted a large sum of money from his master. Imperial edicts, holy objects, spirit pills, and so on, he plundered a pile. That old man didn't seem to care too much. For little Nan Nan, he was even willing to take out all his savings. In the end, little Nan Nan reluctantly took Howren as her master. When she took him as her master, little Nan Nan made him set 3 rules. First, he wasn't allowed to bully her big brother. Second, he wasn't allowed to bully her big brother. Third, he wasn't allowed to bully her big brother. Only after he agreed did she perform the ceremony of taking him as her master. In the end, who is the master here? Chapter 839. Everything in the world had its own counter. Howren, this kind of heaven-reaching almighty being, was actually restrained by a little girl. It was really hard to imagine. Yang Wu also felt that it was too unreal. When he saw little Nan Nan riding on Howren's neck, he was sure that it was not an illusion. With little Nan Nan restraining Howren, Yang Wu felt that this evil master of his had restrained himself in front of him. He could not help but feel a lot more comfortable. At this time, Yang Wu asked his master, "Master, can I go see my wife now?" Go, she's at the Purple Cloud Hall." Howren was too lazy to pay attention to Yang Wu and waved his hand at him. Yang Wu still wanted to ask for more details, but he had already disappeared without a trace with little Nan Nan. Yang Wu sighed, "We're both disciples, why is the difference so big?" Yang Wu began to seriously look around the heavenly palace, looking for the location of the Purple Cloud Hall. However, he only found a destroyed palace behind the sword steel. There was not a single person there, so it was definitely not the Purple Cloud Hall. There were no complete buildings in the other directions, they were all in a mess. Very quickly, he noticed a purple cloud surging in the distance. It seemed to be flickering with the power of thunder and lightning. He thought, could it be over there? Thus, he flew towards the direction of the purple cloud. He did not dare to barge in recklessly. Instead, he opened his soul eye and looked at the path under his feet before continuing forward. In this place there were arrays everywhere. If he was not careful, he could trigger the power of the arrays and be killed. He had no choice but to be careful. Sure enough, along the way, he saw many broken arrays. It seemed that they still contained a lot of power. He thought, when the heavenly palace was at its peak, this place was definitely a dragon's pool and tiger's den. Not long after, Yang Wu came to the front of the purple cloud Taoist rite. Seeing the purple cloud thunder continuously falling in front of him, and the lightning Xian Qi was extremely dense, he could not help but praise. What a good place to cultivate lightning energy. The heavenly thunder bone in his body released traces of desire. He felt that this should be the location of the Purple Cloud Hall. Suddenly, a bestial roar came from the purple cloud thunder. Roar. The roar was astonishing, as if the Emperor of Beasts had descended, full of might. Yang Wu's expression turned grave. He was worried that something might have happened to Ziyu. Just as he was about to rush into the purple thunder cloud, a purple-clothed girl riding a purple qilin slowly walked out of the purple thunder cloud. Yang Wu said in surprise, "Yu. Husband, you're here." After Ziyu saw Yang Wu, her face was also filled with joy. She urged her mount to move forward, but it did not listen obediently. Its purple eyes were filled with traces of lightning, and it was overflowing with a vicious aura. Yu, is this the legendary sacred beast qilin? Yang Wu looked at the mighty mount under Yu and asked. Without waiting for Zuu to reply, an angry roar sounded out again. A bolt of purple lightning shot out from the Qilin's mouth, directly bombarding Yang Wu. Fortunately, Yang Wu had his soul eye open, so he was able to see the Qilin's attack. He quickly dodged to the side, and the lightning power brushed past him. The ground behind Yang Wu was blown up into a cloud of dust. "Baby Qilin, don't be angry. He's my husband. He won't hurt you." Zuu quickly stroked the Qilin's fur as she comforted it. Yang Wu was shocked into a cold sweat. He said, "This Qilin is too fierce. How did you make it yield?" He didn't know what level this Qilin was, but its attack was no weaker than the battle spirit from before. It was even stronger. It was infinitely close to the Saint Realm. It's a baby Qilin that grew up in a purple cloud of lightning. It hasn't come into contact with other creatures. Don't anger it. It's very powerful. Zuu replied. Yang Wu nodded and said, "Yes, I know. It's your partner and it's also my partner. I'm sure it'll slowly accept me." Zuu dismounted from the Qilin and rushed to Yang Wu's side. She asked, "Husband, did you pass the teacher's test?" Yang Wu patted his chest and said, "Of course. Don't you know who your husband is? The test was a piece of cake." "I think so too. So, are you going to cultivate here for the rest of the time? Or do you have other plans? I was going to look for another type of mysterious essence qi, but now I want to stay here and cultivate for a while. Are you in a hurry to return to Purple Cloud Hall?" "No rush. If that's the case, then let's cultivate here together." "That's good." As Yang Wu cultivated the 9 lightning body tempering technique, he had tempered his bones into the heavenly thunder bone. He had also comprehended an electric fork talent from the heavenly thunder bone. During the 10 years in the God of War pagoda, Yang Wu hadn't tempered himself with the power of lightning, so he had put this talent aside. Now that he had found such a good place to cultivate, he definitely didn't want to let it go. He and Zuu walked toward the purple cloud of lightning. Before he even entered, he could already feel the huge threat that the purple cloud of lightning brought to him. The purple cloud of lightning here could probably kill a sage. Yang Wu was only a half-saint. If he barged in recklessly, he would definitely die. Therefore, he decided to stay outside the lightning and absorb some purple cloud of lightning before slowly entering. Zuu accompanied Yang Wu and cultivated quietly. She was prepared to hone her heavenly fish realm to perfection. If everything went smoothly, she wanted to take that step and become a dragon transformation realm small saint. The purple cloud of lightning was a high-level lightning. When Yang Wu absorbed its power, his body convulsed uncomfortably. That terrifying power almost charred his body. The 9 lightning body tempering technique worked wonders. It channeled the power of lightning into his bones and tempered them. Yang Wu already had more than 10 heavenly thunder bones, but these heavenly thunder bones still had room for improvement. The purple cloud of lightning could help them reach a higher level. Yang Wu silently endured the pain of the purple cloud of lightning and slowly entered a state of cultivation where he forgot about everything around him. When he gradually adapted to the power of the purple cloud of lightning outside, he walked into the lightning. Bang! Yang Wu was struck by the purple cloud, thunder and lightning, and his body almost fell to the ground. That even more terrifying power of thunder and lightning covered his entire body, and all of his hair turned incomparably black. Even his skin and flesh felt like it was being cooked by the electricity. Zuu watched from a distance and felt sorry for him. She wanted to rush over and block the pain for him. Yang Wu was also extraordinary. He had suffered a lot in these years, so he didn't care about this little bit more. He sat down cross-legged and crazily absorbed the power of the purple cloud, thunder and lightning. He began to temper his bones in all aspects. He planned to temper all his bones into heavenly thunder bones before coming out. Not far away, Hao Rin, who was playing with little Nan Nan, looked over from time to time. His old eyes were filled with admiration. He thought to himself, Only by enduring the most bitter of hardships can one rise above others. Tempering one's bones was a very painful thing. The purple cloud of lightning first passed through the skin and flesh before entering the body. Finally, it reached the bones. Before tempering the bones, it had to temper the skin and flesh. Yang Wu's skin and flesh peeled off layer by layer. His bloody appearance was extremely frightening. However, he gritted his teeth and persevered. After the old skin peeled off, new skin grew again. This cycle repeated over and over again. The bones in his body absorbed a lot of purple cloud of lightning and began to change color. From white to light purple, then to deep purple. The 9 thunder reshaping body technique had its own uniqueness. Otherwise, it would not have been able to help Yang Wu refine the heavenly thunder bone. After it gathered the purple cloud thunder into the bone again and again, the heavenly thunder bone was initially formed. Yang Wu gradually developed a resistance to the power of the purple cloud thunder and lightning, and felt less pain. His body became tougher and was comparable to a peak half-saint. He was only one step away from sanctifying his body. It wasn't easy to take this step because with his current realm, he had reached his limit. He had to increase his realm to increase his potential and take that step. 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. Every bone in Yang Wu's body was tempered and the heavenly thunder skeleton was completely formed. He had a kind of immunity to lightning. Yang Wu stood up and let the lightning strike him. He didn't show the slightest panic. He grabbed a purple cloud of lightning with his bare hand. The power of lightning was in his palm. He smiled faintly and said, "Now I'm not afraid of the power of lightning." In the past 3 months, in addition to completing the tempering of the heavenly thunderbone, the power of his dantian had been greatly improved. His strength had quietly risen to the late stage of the heavenly fish realm, only one step away from the completion. Yang Wu's foundation was too deep and needed too much heaven and earth qi. It was extremely difficult for him to make a small progress in 3 months. Suddenly, a huge amount of lightning power was absorbed in the depth. Even the lightning power here was absorbed by an inexplicable suction. Many purple cloud of lightning gathered in one place and fell crazily. Yang Wu raised his eyebrows and looked at the restlessness. He felt that it might be caused by the purple yu. Rumble, rumble. The purple cloud of lightning struck faster and faster. The lightning qi became denser and denser, forming a lightning electromagnetic field. There seemed to be a lightning dragon born in it. Waves of roaring sounds could be heard. Not long after, a purple dragon soared into the sky and collided with the lightning. The lightning was stopped by the purple dragon's power. Yu broke through to the dragon transformation realm? Yang Wu couldn't help but be ecstatic. The transformation of a heavenly fish into a dragon was a qualitative leap. Only by taking this step could one have a chance to attack a higher level, and the sooner one took this step, the more obvious the improvement and enhancement of one's body would be. Qilin rushed out from the depth. It glanced at Yang Wu and ignored him. Its arrogant eyes were full of disdain. Yang Wu couldn't be bothered to care about his face. He only cared about whether the purple yu could successfully break through. This intense lightning feast lasted for a full 3 days before it finally slowed down. The purple dragon had finally taken form, and it was roaming freely in the lightning domain. A beautiful figure came over on the back of a dragon. Everything in the world paled in comparison to her. Yang Wu looked at the figure that slowly appeared and felt very absent-minded. He sighed softly. With a wife like this, what more can a husband ask for? Chapter 840. Zuu had the heavenly thunder jade skin body, which was an innate battle constitution. She was like a fish in water amidst the heavenly thunder. After 3 months of cultivation, she had directly broken through to the dragon transformation realm. It was not an easy process for a heavenly fish to transform into a dragon. Many people could not break through this small barrier. The stronger the foundation of a heavenly fish, the higher the chance of transforming into a dragon. Ziyu's cultivation talent was indisputable. She also cultivated the Purple Firmament Palace's highest Xian mantra. Her foundation was stronger than the average prodigy. With the help of the Purple Cloud Lightning, not only did her physical body improve, but she also accumulated enough energy to successfully break through in one go. This speed of improvement was simply too shocking. Ziyu, who had broken through, appeared even more otherworldly. Her graceful body became even more flexible and tenacious. Her body had the golden ratio, and her beautiful face was sparkling and translucent like jade, as if it could be broken with a flick of a finger. Her purple hair fluttered in the wind, causing her to appear even more beautiful. Yang Wu looked at Ziyu. It was hard to imagine her as the slug from when he was young. "Husband, take this." After Ziyu rushed out, she raised her delicate palm and slapped it towards Yang Wu. Rushing thunder palm. The power of the palm was like thunder, shocking the heavens. By the time Yang Wu reacted, the palm was already in front of his chest. If he did not dodge, this palm would definitely hit him mercilessly. It was not that Ziyu wanted to hurt him. Ziyu knew how strong Yang Wu was. Before she broke through, she was not a match for Yang Wu. Yang Wu did not dodge, but he was not hurt by Ziyu either. The black tortoise armor appeared on his body, and the powerful force dissipated all the power from Ziyu's palm. Ziyu attacked again, and the power of her palm was more than twice as strong as before. The surrounding purple cloud lightning was attracted by her, and the terrifying lightning shot towards Yang Wu like a dragon. This was the true power of the dragon transformation realm. The ability to control the power of the heavens and the earth had become even more natural. Within this purple lightning cloud, Yu was like the mother of lightning, able to control the myriad of lightning here. Yang Wu did not retaliate. Instead, he continued to use his black tortoise battle armor to deflect all of purple Yu's attack. He smiled and said, "Wife, do you really think that you can challenge your husband's authority just because you've broken through to the dragon transformation realm? You'll be punished according to the family rules." In the next moment, Yang Wu launched a counterattack. He had already cultivated the heavenly thunder bone body, so the purple cloud thunder here would no longer be able to harm him. On the contrary, he could also control the lightning power here, and he was not inferior to Ziyu. Yang Wu stretched out his palm and slapped towards purple Yu's perky butt. Ziyu reacted quickly and kicked away Yang Wu's palm. Following that, a series of powerful attacks were launched at Yang Wu. Regardless of whether it was the palm or the foot, Ziyu executed them exquisitely. Every move and style had a large amount of lightning power enveloping Yang Wu. The destructive power was comparable to a peak minor saint. Yang Wu also went all out to spar with Ziyu. Fist against palm, leg against leg. Both of them were having fun. Ziyu realized that ordinary attacks were unable to do anything to Yang Wu. She shouted, "Husband, pay attention. I'm going to use my ultimate move. Lightning magnetic field." Countless purple cloud lightning gathered, forming a sea of lightning. The terrifying explosive power was enough to make even a peak minor saint retreat. "Haha! Today, I must show my authority as a husband." Yang Wu let out a long laugh and also released his thunder electromagnetic field. The majestic power of thunder and lightning gathered and began to collide with Ziyu's thunder electromagnetic field. Hong long. Both of them were using the lightning magnetic field of the purple cloud lightning. It was a competition of whose xianqi was more abundant and who could control the purple cloud lightning more easily. Yang Wu's xianqi was stronger than Yu's, but the lightning power that Ziyu could control was stronger than Yang Wu's. Both of them could not do anything to each other. Yang Wu smiled and said, let you have a taste of your husband's power." Suddenly, the lightning energy condensed into electric forks. The electric forks were like peerless weapons, thrusting towards Ziyu. Ziyu's eyes widened as she looked at Yang Wu's innate attack, and she was given a big fright. She condensed lightning to defend herself, but she was still pierced by the electric fork's power. Just as the electric fork's power was about to injure her, it stopped. Yang Wu looked at Ziyu complacently and said, "Wife, are you convinced?" Ziyu flicked her purple hair and said with a sweet smile, "Husband, you're so powerful. You don't cultivate lightning energy, but you can unleash such powerful lightning energy. No wonder you can defeat people of the same generation." She paused for a moment and blinked her cunning eyes, "But it's not that easy to teach your wife a lesson." In that instant, strange runes flowed around Ziyu's body. These runes seemed to be innate. Each rune was like a lightning hammer. Tens of thousands of lightning hammers formed and smashed towards the electric forks. Another series of explosions rang out. Yang Wu's electric forks seemed to have met their nemesis as they were all broken by the lightning hammers. They were no longer a threat to Ziyu. Not only that, but the lightning hammer runes also smashed towards Yang Wu. The lightning amplification was incomparably terrifying. It was more than 10 times stronger than before. This was the terrifying aspect of innate talent. My wife has the lightning hammer of a lightning god, and I have the lightning fork of a lightning god. Isn't this reversed? Yang Wu cried out in alarm. All of the heavenly lightning bones emitted a dazzling light as countless electric forks gathered to meet the lightning hammers. Neither side could do anything to the other. Yang Wu and Ziyu stopped before going too far. There was no need for a victor to be decided. In the heavenly lightning domain, Ziyu's combat strength was definitely not inferior to a half-step saint. If it was outside, with the help of her innate talent and her trump card, she could kill a peak minor saint. She could even protect herself in front of a half-step saint. Compared to 3 months ago, she was much stronger. Your improvement is too fast. Your innate battle physique is indeed different from others," Yang Wu said as he gently hugged Ziyu's shoulder. Ziyu leaned on Yang Wu's chest and said, "No matter how fast my improvement is, it can't be compared to my husband. My husband is the one who is different from the rest." She then added, "My eyesight is not bad." Yang Wu smiled. "After you arrived at the Purple Firmament Palace, have you ever thought of giving up your husband?" At that time, she was cultivating in a major force in the transcendent world, while he was imprisoned in the mortal world. It could be said that one was in the sky while the other was on the ground. Ziyu's charming eyes flickered as she said, "No matter where I am, my heart is filled with your shadow. I miss the days when I was with you. At that time, I always felt so happy. After arriving at the Purple Firmament Palace, I was bitterly cultivating every day. I was not happy at all. Moreover, you saw my body long ago. I am already yours." After saying that, her face was like a ripe tomato. It was irresistible to take a bite. Yang Wu kissed her on the cheek and said, "At that time, we were still little brats. I don't care. I am not a casual woman. I was really wise at that time. I took you long ago. It's just that you often had a runny nose. You were really cute. Don't mention it again. I don't have a runny nose anymore." Yang Wu and Ziyu were intimate for a while before discussing whether or not they should leave. Ziyu shook her head and pointed to the depths of the purple cloud thunder region. She wanted to go in with him. Yang Wu nodded without hesitation and followed Ziyu into the depth. The Qilin sacred beast rushed in from the outside. It roared at Yang Wu as if it was not willing to let him in. "Husband, release your heavenly thunder innate skill," Ziyu said. Yang Wu listened to Ziyu and released the heavenly thunderbone's innate skill. Many lightning runes revolved around his body, giving him a bit of charm. Ziyu gently stroked the Qilin sacred beast's head and said, "Baby Qilin, don't be afraid. He is the same as me. He will not harm you or destroy everything here." To the Qilin, this was its home. It was not a place that anyone could enter. The Qilin sacred beast looked at Yang Wu and retracted its evil aura. It rubbed against Ziyu's side. The two of them rode into the depths of the purple cloud thunder region. The lightning energy there was even more concentrated. Every bolt had a shocking destructive power. Even a saint would not be able to withstand it. Ziyu and Yang Wu had a tacit understanding. They held hands at the same time and released their innate skill to their heart's content. Ziyu's lightning hammer and Yang Wu's lightning fork. The two types of energy intertwined and formed a strange magnetic field that enveloped them. It was as if a part of the world had been opened. Many lightning energies revolved around them, but they were unable to cause any harm to them. Suddenly, a heaven and earth phenomenon appeared. Two figures appeared. They looked like the god of thunder and the goddess of lightning. They were aloof and remote, looking down on all living things. They controlled 10,000 bolts of lightning and carried out punishment on behalf of the heavens. Outside the purple cloud thunder region, Hao Ren's old eyes broke through the layers of barriers and landed on the thunder region. When he saw the two figures that appeared above the thunder region, he was shocked and said, "A disciple's wife can cause such a disturbance?" Hao Ren hesitated for a moment before bringing little Nan Nan over to the purple cloud thunder region. He had to get closer to be able to see more clearly. Ziyu and Yang Wu were both stunned. They never thought that the two people's magnetic fields could merge together and cause a heaven and earth phenomenon. They only felt that there was an ancient inheritance that awakened them. They vaguely grasped some of the mysteries of heaven. Unfortunately, their strength was not strong enough. They still could not inherit these mysteries of heaven. Even so, their control over lightning had become smoother and more natural. The god of thunder and the goddess of lightning have appeared. However, it seems that we have reversed. We have become the god of thunder and the goddess of lightning. When Yang Wu came back to his senses, he could not help but laugh. Maybe there is only the god of thunder and the goddess of lightning in this world. There is no god of thunder and the goddess of lightning. Ziyu laughed. The goddess of thunder is right. You have to treat me better in the future. Of course. I will love you dearly, the goddess of lightning. The two of them flirted as they entered the depths of the purple cloud thunder region. This was a place that even saints did not dare to enter. Countless purple clouds and lightning wreaked havoc everywhere. The destructive power was truly terrifying. However, in this kind of danger zone, there was actually a plant growing. It was a purple flower that looked like a lotus but was not one. It had a total of 99 petals and emitted an astonishing sacred light. Beside this sacred flower, there was something even more attractive. Chapter 841. The purple gold holy flower was an extraordinary holy flower. It could be ranked among the top of the holy medicines. Each of the 99 petals contained an extraordinary power of thunder and lightning. It was a holy object that martial artists who cultivated thunder chi desired. One petal could help them become a saint. Although this was a bit exaggerated, it was not without basis. Beside the purple gold holy flower, there was a pair of weapons, a hammer and a fork. They had been baptized by the purple clouds and thunder for a long time. Not only were they not damaged at all, but they were also shining and emitting a different power of thunder and lightning. Ziyu and Yang Wu's eyes fell on the hammer and fork. Before they could take it, the hammer and fork flew up from the ground. A small crystal thunder hammer and a two-headed fork fell toward Ziyu and Yang Wu respectively. The small thunder hammer's head was like a dragon, and the hammer's handle was like a dragon's body. There were lightning patterns all over it like a thunder dragon. Anyone who touched it would die. The electric fork was also very strange. The two forks were as sharp as blades, like the fangs of a snake. There was a thunder and lightning bead in the middle of the fork, constantly releasing electricity. The high-voltage electricity was daunting. These two weapons automatically chose their masters. It was obvious that they were already psychic. Ziyu and Yang Wu looked at each other, and then reached for the two weapons. When they came into contact with the two divine weapons, the electromagnetic field was released once again. The thunder hammer rune pattern and the electric fork rune pattern the two types of destructive power that represented punishment, once again intertwined together. There was the sound of spring thunder and the sound of lightning flashing across the sky. Ziyu and Yangwu were both lucky. The Divine Court Dao flower automatically imprinted an instinctive magic, the control of thunder and lightning. This was an extremely terrifying magic power. Of course, only when the two of them were together and released the thunder runes and electric runes at the same time could they form the real power of thunder and lightning. Neither could be missing. Ziyu couldn't help but wave her thunder hammer, and Yang Wu cooperated with her to wave the electric fork. Thunder rumbled, and electricity splashed in all directions like snake. The power of the thunder and lightning was earth-shattering, and it was enough to shake the saint aura. The Qilin was so scared that he hurriedly retreated. His eyes were filled with confusion, as if he couldn't understand how the two people in front of him could trigger the two divine weapons that he had been coveting for a long time. Ziyu moved like a sudden clap of thunder, and Yang Wu leaped like lightning. They were performing a set of thunder punishment technique. This kind of mutant technique wasn't a battle technique, and it was even more mysterious than battle technique. It could only be understood and not explained. The Thunder Dominion here had been turned upside down by the two of them. There was not a single peaceful place. Haoren brought Nan into the Thunder Dominion. Seeing the young couple stirring up the thunder and lightning, he couldn't help but blurt out, "These two little guys are really something." Since ancient times, only a few people were able to use the thunder hammer and electric fork. Even many powerhouses who cultivated the power of thunder found it difficult to display their full power. Later on, when they fell into the hands of the Heavenly Palace, only a few people were able to control them. Even after the Heavenly Palace was destroyed, this pair of divine weapons had never been taken away by anyone. They were not ordinary saint weapons, but divine weapons left behind from ancient times. It was rumored that they were innate divine weapons, and some people said that they were divine weapons. No matter which theory it was, it represented that they had extraordinary abilities. After half a day, Ziyu and Yang Wu both stopped. The power in their bodies had been emptied, and their faces were pale. It was as if they had experienced an extremely fierce battle. "Put away the weapons first," Yang Wu called out to Ziyu. Ziyu nodded. She wanted to put away the thunder hammer, but it didn't listen to her summons, and she didn't put it away. Yang Wu also used his mind to put away the electric fork, but he couldn't do it either. However, Yang Wu was no longer a fledgling who had just entered the transcendent realm. He quickly reacted and said, "Activate your innate skill and resonate with the weapons." Yang Wu was the first to activate his lightning fork innate skill. The lightning fork rune imprinted itself on the lightning fork divine weapon. The lightning fork rune flickered on the lightning fork divine weapon. After the two combined, the lightning fork divine weapon finally moved. So, the weapon sank into Yang Wu's body. It didn't enter Yang Wu's universe space, but instead turned into electric fork runes that imprinted themselves onto his spine. After it entered, all the heavenly thunder bones in his body let out clanging sounds. This was the heavenly thunder bone sound. His heavenly thunder bone physique had been perfected. On the other side, Ziyu learned from Yang Wu and activated the thunder hammer runes to form a connection with the weapon. The weapon transformed into a dragon and imprinted itself onto her jade-like skin. On her right shoulder, there was an additional thunder hammer imprint. Soon, the imprint disappeared without a trace. The divine weapon chose its master, and 10,000 thunders roared. The purple clouds in this lightning region were even more vigorous. Even Haoren, who wasn't far away, had no choice but to erect a defensive barrier to prevent little Nan from being injured. Big brother and big sister are really powerful. Little Nan received Haoren's help. He saw Yang Wu and Ziyu release boundless lightning energy and couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. "Then do you want to be as powerful as them in the future, or even surpass them?" Haoren took the opportunity to ask. "I do, but I'm afraid I can't do it," Don't be afraid. Master is here. When you grow up, you'll be even more powerful than them. Don't lie to me. I don't have extravagant hopes of being stronger than Big Brother. I'll be satisfied if I'm half as strong as him. You'll only be stronger than him. If you lie to me, I'll pull off your beard. After Zuu and Yang Wu received the two divine weapons, their strength recovered once again. They even felt that they were stronger than before. They were both overjoyed at this turn of events. I'll leave this purple gold sacred flower to you, Yang Wu said to Zuu. Yang Wu didn't cultivate lightning profound qi, so this purple gold sacred flower didn't have an obvious effect on him. It was more suitable for Zuu. Zuu replied, "This should belong to baby Qilin." The Qilin sacred beast couldn't help but rejoice. It rushed to Zuu's side and rubbed its head against her body, appearing very intimate. The Qilin is an auspicious beast. With its help in the future, you'll be like a tiger that has grown wings. Yang Wu was sincerely happy for Zuu and said, "The harvest of the Heavenly Palace's ruins was great." Zuu smiled and said, "I'm just basking in my husband's light. Without you, I wouldn't have this kind of opportunity. We don't need to be so polite. Let's go out first." Yang Wu held Ziyu's delicate hand and said. The two left together. Hao Run was already waiting for them outside. "Greetings, Master." Yang Wu and Ziyu saluted together. Strictly speaking, Hao Run wasn't Ziyu's master. However, she was married to Yang Wu, so there was nothing wrong with calling him that. "You've all obtained a lot of benefit. In the future, you'll have to properly rectify our Heavenly Palace's name," Hao Run warned. Then, he looked at the Qilin and beckoned it over. The Qilin obediently walked towards him, its eyes filled with fear. It was clear that it had suffered many losses in his hands. The Qilin arrived in front of Hao Run. It gently stroked his head and said, "Little guy, you've grown up and found your master. It's time for you to go out and see the world. However, the outside world is quite dangerous. There are countless powerful creatures and your entire body is filled with treasures. They can't wait to capture you or eat you alive. You have to be careful and learn to be low-key. Even if you take that step, you'll only barely have the ability to protect yourself. I have a pair of purple lightning gloves here. I'll give it to you as a parting gift." The Qilin looked at the gloves that were handed over and its eyes were filled with emotion. It opened its mouth and received the glove. Then, it let out a few low cries towards Hao Run. It seemed to be thanking the old man and bidding him farewell. Purple Yu looked a bit sad and blurted out, "Baby Qilin, why don't you stay here?" Hao Run replied, "Take him out. Only then will he be able to take that step faster. The Qilin is an auspicious beast, but he is also a sacred beast. How can he stay in this place?" Then, he said, "I've already given you what you deserve. You can leave now." Yang Wu asked in astonishment, "Master, don't you have anything to give me?" Hao Run rolled his eyes at Yang Wu and said, "You've extorted so many things and you still don't think it's enough?" "Master, you can't be fierce to Big Brother." Little Nan Nan interrupted. "How could I dare?" Hao Run immediately admitted defeat. Yang Wu scratched the back of his head and said, "I've only been in the Heavenly Palace for a few months. I don't think I've inherited the Heavenly Palace's inheritance. If I leave like this, my status as the eldest disciple won't live up to my name." The Heavenly Palace's area was very large. It wasn't just a small area in front of him. He firmly believed that there were many ancient inheritances here. Hao Run said, "Don't bite off more than you can chew. It's enough. When you reach the Star Rune Realm, you can come back again." "Alright, since Master doesn't welcome me, I'll leave." Yang Wu spread his hands and said. After pausing for a moment, he changed the topic and said, "That's right, Master, I want to ask you for a favor." "Don't ask. I won't agree to it." Hao Run refused without any trace of politeness. "Little Nan Nan." Yang Wu hurriedly asked Little Nan Nan for help. Without waiting for Little Nan Nan to speak, Hao Run immediately replied, "Fart." If you have something to say, then say it. How Ren's heart was filled with anger. Little Nan Nan was his life's nemesis. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to escape in this lifetime. I know where the mysterious essence chi is, but with my current strength, I can't seize it. I want to ask Master to lend me a hand. Otherwise, I won't even be able to break through the heavenly fish realm. Master, you can't just stand by and watch me die. Yang Wu pleaded. This is your own matter. Master can't help you. Howren refused. He then said earnestly, since you can rely on your own ability to obtain the first 3 types of mysterious essence chi, then whether or not you can gather the last 6 types is up to your luck. If Master rashly intervenes, it won't be a good thing for you. Just treat it as a tempering and slowly overcome it. Only in this way can you reach the great Tao. No, Master, you must help me. That place isn't something that can be reached by luck. Disciple, if you want to become a person above others, then you have to endure hardships. Don't be picky. On the path of martial arts, how can it be smooth sailing? Ai, little Nan Nan, I'm afraid that Big Brother won't be able to see you again. Where is the mysterious essence chi? Immediately bring Master there. War Clan Realms, Xing Family. Chapter 842. When Yang Wu was in the City of Redemption, he had come into contact with the Xing clan and sensed the mysterious essence chi. He was certain that there was a type of mysterious essence chi in the Xing clan's territory. The Xing clan was one of the battle clans. Their background was extremely strong. The Yang clan could only be bullied and humiliated. They had no way of directly challenging the Xing clan. Yang Wu did not expect the Yang clan to help him, so he could only ask his master to help. His master had casually given him the illusory wedding dress, which was one of the top 3 saint artifacts. His master's strength was probably at the level of a saint, or even at the level of a saint. Brat, you want to use me to deal with the Xing clan? Howren narrowed his eyes. He was clear about the conflict between the Xing clan and the Yang clan, which was why he said that. Yang Wu shook his head. I will deal with the Xing clan myself in the future. Before that, I hope Master can help me obtain another type of mysterious essence chi. Only then can I increase my cultivation speed and touch the saint realm. He paused for a moment, then added, if Master can't do anything to the Xing clan, then just pretend I didn't say anything. Haha, do you really think that Master will be fooled by your inferior method of provocation? I'm just speaking the truth. If worst comes to worst, I'll think of something myself. I don't believe I can't get that mysterious essence chi. The battle clans are all extraordinary. If the 8 great battle clans unite, even the heavenly palace wouldn't dare to underestimate them. Master doesn't care about the Xing clan. If you want the mysterious essence chi, there's no problem, but you have to promise Master one thing. What is it, Master? As long as it's within my power, I won't even frown. Obtain the Heavenly Dragon Rankings Dragon Emperor and spread the name of the Heavenly Palace. The Heavenly Dragon Rankings Dragon Emperor was the first place on the Heavenly Dragon ranking. This position had always been the junior sovereign position that countless heavens prides of the younger generation yearned for. Whoever obtained this position would represent the strongest potential and talent of the younger generation. They would be known as the number 1 person who could suppress their peers. What kind of glory was this? Countless heavens prides of the younger generation would spend decades or even hundreds of years to cultivate bitterly, not for longevity, but for fame. Howren's requirements for Yang Wu were extremely high. The Dragon Phoenix list would be held once every 50 years. It represented the competition for the strongest minor saint below the age of 100. Countless heavens prides had been waiting for that day to come. Once it started, it would be a fierce battle between dragons and tigers. It would be extremely difficult to be the champion. Yang Wu hadn't reached the dragon transformation realm yet. Even if he had the battle prowess of a semi-saint, it didn't mean that he was invincible below the saint realm. There were still many peerless geniuses and hidden evildoers with extraordinary battle prowess. Anyone who let their guard down would be the first to be eliminated. Yang Wu knew about the situation of the Dragon Phoenix list from Sun Yong and knew that his master's request was not low. He hesitated for a moment before replying, "I'll do my best." "No, you must do it. If you can't do it, then die." Hao Ren's eyes shone with a fierce light as he emphasized, "Master, you're not allowed to be fierce to Big Brother." Little Nan Nan fiercely looked at Hao Ren and said. This time, Hao Ren didn't take Little Nan Nan's words seriously. He gently pressed the back of her neck and she unconsciously fell asleep. He looked at Yang Wu and said, "In the future, Little Nan Nan will stay by my side. I will nurture her into the most outstanding genius of the Heavenly Palace. I'm relieved to have her by your side. I will definitely become the Dragon Monarch." Yang Wu promised with high fighting spirit. If he didn't want to die, then he would do his best to fulfill his master's request. After Yang Wu promised Hao Ren, they prepared to leave the ruins of the Heavenly Palace. As for Jiang Ping, who had once again charged out of the battle mound, he proudly shouted, "I'm invincible in the same realm. Who else can be my opponent? The battle mound is nothing. I've continuously charged through it." At this time, Jiang Ping was very miserable. His whole body was tattered and stained with blood. Only the sacred armor protected his vitals. Without the sacred armor, he wouldn't have been able to survive. Last time, he relied on his speed to escape from the battle mound. This time, he relied on his own strength to charge through. He also fought a fierce battle with a half-step Saint Realm battle spirit. In the end, he defeated the battle spirit and gained a deeper level of comprehension. He obtained a great harvest. Jiang Ping dripped his blood on the sword steel and officially became a disciple of the Heavenly Palace. He proudly said, "I should be the first disciple. In the future, the position of Heavenly Palace Master will also be inherited by me." Haha. Before his smile fell, Hao Ren's voice rang out, "You're the third disciple. The first is Yang Wu and the second is Little Nan Nan. In the future, when you see them, you have to greet them as junior brothers." Jiang Ping jumped up and said, "You're too biased. Last time, I clearly passed the battle mound, but you didn't verify my identity. Now that I've passed it with great difficulty, you want me to be the third disciple. I'm not convinced." You want to fight this old man alone?" Hao Ren looked at Jiang Ping and coldly snorted. Hao Ren was only a clone and not his real body. However, he still exuded an incomparably powerful aura. Jiang Ping didn't have such courage. He quickly lowered his voice and said, "This disciple wouldn't dare. Martial uncle, don't be angry. Don't be angry. It's not impossible for you to be the first disciple. You can even be the successor of the Heavenly Palace. As long as you do one thing, I can make the decision to let you inherit the position." "What is it?" "Become the Dragon Emperor. Heavenly Dragon Rankings Dragon Emperor." "Yes." "Good deal. The Dragon Emperor's position is mine." In another direction, Hao Ren took Little Nan Nan, Yang Wu, and Yu Yu and left the Heavenly Palace ruins. With the help of the Heavenly Palace token, they disappeared and appeared outside the Heavenly Palace ruins. There were still many ice race creatures guarding this place. When Yang Wu's group came out, they didn't notice the existence of Yang Wu's group. With Hao Ren here, all auras were concealed. Hao Ren sent a sound transmission to Yang Wu. "The ice race are our Heavenly Palace's guards. In the future, if you have the ability, you can make them work for you. For now, let them guard this place." Yang Wu was stunned. How powerful was the ice race? They were actually only Heavenly Palace's guards. How powerful was the Heavenly Palace at its peak? Yang Wu recovered and said, "Master, I want to take a trip to Heaven Domain City first." Hao Ren also had a reasonable side. He agreed to Yang Wu's request. Hao Ren brought Yang Wu's group and quickly headed towards Heaven Domain City. Hao Ren's speed was terrifyingly fast. Yang Wu and Ziyue were unable to sense the sound of the wind, nor were they able to clearly see the changes in their surroundings. They could only see a hazy scene constantly passing by. Not long after, they arrived outside Heaven Domain City. "I'll give you 1 day to deal with your matters. Then I'll take you to the Xing family alone," Haoren said. Yang Wu recovered and bowed to Haoren. Then he brought Yu Yu and the Qilin towards Heaven Domain City. They didn't walk far before they heard Haoren's voice. "Lin don't swagger in like that. You're just looking to die." The Qilin's movements stiffened. Soon, it shrunk its body and turned into a small purple dog. It was impossible to see its identity as a saint beast. Ziyuyu was overjoyed. She hugged it in her arms and gently stroked it as she said, "So cute." Yang Wu and Ziyuyu held hands and walked side by side into Heaven Domain City. Once they reached the city, it meant that they would have to separate. "Yu, are you going back to Purple Firmament Hall?" Yang Wu asked in a soft voice. Ziyuyu gently nodded and said, I also want to travel the world with you. However, I can't right now. I'm sorry." She couldn't help but hold Yang Wu's hand tightly. She didn't want to leave him either. Yang Wu gave a light smile and said, "It's fine. The future is ours. Before long, I will go to Purple Firmament Hall to welcome you. And I believe in you. If we work hard together, no one will be able to stop us," Ziyuyu firmly said. When the two of them were about to enter the city, a group of people quickly rushed out of the city. They were the people from Purple Firmament Hall. Ziyuyu hadn't even entered the city and Purple Firmament Hall already knew about her. This was the terrifying part of a giant power. The person leading the Purple Firmament Hall was Lei Shuyang. Behind him were the geniuses of Purple Firmament Hall, as well as a few old protectors. When Lei Shuyang heard that Ziyuyu had appeared, he was in a good mood. However, when he saw her holding hands with a youth, his purple hair exploded. The eyes of the other youths from Purple Firmament Hall were filled with flames of jealousy. They wanted nothing more than to tear Yang Wu to pieces. "Yang Wu, you still dare to seduce my junior sister? Do you want to die?" Lei Shuyang would never forget the youth that had defeated him. He had always wanted to wash away his shame one day. After Yang Wu saw Lei Shuyang, he gave a light smile and said, "I am still in my youth, how could I want to die? But you, the loser, want to jump around again?" Lei Shuyang quickly rushed over. He glared at Yang Wu and said, "Get away from my junior sister." Ziyuyu blocked in front of Yang Wu and said, "Senior brother, please show some respect to my husband." Ziyuyu's words were like a bolt from the blue. Lei Shuyang and the youths from Purple Firmament Hall were struck by lightning, causing them to lose their minds. You, what do you mean by this?" Lei Shuyang couldn't believe what he had heard. He stuttered as he looked at Ziyuyu. "Are you deaf? He is my husband. I hope you will show some respect in the future. Otherwise, I will not be polite to you," Ziyuyu emphasized calmly. Yang Wu, who was beside her, felt as if he was drinking spring water. His entire body was carefree. The slug had grown up. You are our Purple Firmament Hall's holy maiden. How could you and him? This is definitely not true." Lei Shuyang still couldn't accept this fact. He angrily glared at Yang Wu and said, "Yang Wu, get out here. What did you do to my junior sister?" Yang Wu stood out and gently held Ziyuyu's shoulder and said, "She is my wife. Don't think about her in the future." "This is definitely not true. Yang Wu, do you know how powerful our Purple Firmament Hall is? You want to eat swan meat? No way." Lei Shuyang revealed a sinister expression as he shouted. A rushing thunder palm slapped towards Yang Wu's face. Thunder and lightning flew, and killing intent rose in all directions. Chapter 843. Lei Shuyang was the saint's son of the Purple Cloud Palace. His talent was not inferior to Ziyue's, and his battle talent was also abnormally strong. He wanted to kill Yang Wu, so he did not show any mercy. A purple palm print that was suffused with thunder and lightning slammed towards Yang Wu. The power of this palm print could penetrate through walls and mountains. Without waiting for Yang Wu to make a move, Ziyu appeared in front of Yang Wu and easily blocked Lei Shuyang's palm. She shouted, "Are you done yet?" Lightning flashed behind Ziyu and a purple dragon condensed. The aura of the dragon transformation realm enveloped Lei Shuyang, not giving him a chance to make a move. Lei Shuyang said in shock, You've taken that step?" Lei Shuyang grew up in the Purple Firmament Palace and obtained many cultivation resources. This was why he was able to reach the peak of the Heavenly Fish Realm at the age of 30. Ziyu had only returned to the Purple Firmament Palace for a few years. Not only had she caught up to him, she had even surpassed him. This was something that he found hard to accept. "It's good that you know," Ziyu calmly replied before emphasizing, "I respectfully call you senior brother because we are from the same sect. I hope you won't make things difficult for me." Lei Shuyang looked at Ziyu's indifferent expression and felt his heart being pierced. He felt extremely uncomfortable as he gritted his teeth and said, "My feelings for you, can't you feel it at all? The sacred elders in the palace all think that we are a match made in heaven. How can you live up to their expectations like this?" Ziyu said in a deep voice, "That's your problem and their problem. What does it have to do with me? I've always told you that I have someone I like, but you didn't believe me. He is just an ordinary person. How can he be worthy of you? Because we are truly in love. No one can separate us." "Alright, since it's like this, then there's nothing else to say. Tell him to take care of himself." Lei Shuyang could see that Ziyu was determined, so he didn't want to say anything more. After glaring at Yang Wu, he turned around and returned to Sky Domain City. He roared in his heart, "Ziyu, you betrayed me today. In the future, I will make you kneel and lick my feet. I am the future young Hall Master of the Purple Firmament Palace. You will regret humiliating me for a mere piece of trash." At this moment, Lei Shuyang had completely given up on his love for Ziyu. His love had also given birth to hatred. The geniuses of the Purple Firmament Palace were also in a bad mood. They were not in the mood to talk to Ziyu as they all returned to the city. An old law protector said to Ziyu, "Saintess, please come back with me. Elder Sheng is very worried about your safety." "Okay, wait for me," Ziyu softly replied. She then looked at Yang Wu and said emotionally, "If two people love each other for a long time, why would they be together every day? Husband, I'll wait for you to openly come to the Purple Firmament Palace to pick me up." Yang Wu held Ziyu's hand and gently kissed her forehead as he said, "Don't worry, that day won't be too far away. I believe in you." Ziyu's eyes sparkled as she replied. After hugging Yang Wu, she followed the law protectors of the Purple Firmament Palace back to the city. She looked back every 10 steps as her beautiful eyes were filled with reluctance. Yang Wu kept looking at her until she disappeared from his sight. Only then did he walk towards the city. He secretly sighed in his heart, "Wife, wait for me." Yang Wu quickly entered the city and returned to the inn he had stayed in before. He wanted to find Qing Feng, White-Haired Demoness, by Luoyun, Yang Zhenlong and the others. As expected, when he returned to the inn, he found that they were still waiting for him. When Qing Feng saw Yang Wu, she felt as if a heavy burden had been lifted off her shoulders. She had been too anxious during this period of time. Originally, her grandmother had told her to protect Yang Wu. However, she had repeatedly failed. If something happened to Yang Wu, she would not have the face to return to the Yang clan. "Sister Feng, I've made you worry," Yang Wu said to Qing Feng with embarrassment. "Okay, it's good that you're fine," Qing Feng lightly replied. After that, Yang Wu briefly explained his situation to White-Haired Demoness, by Luoyun and Yang Zhenlong. He also told them to hurry back to the Yang clan first. He could not travel with them. As for Fei Hu, Hong Mo and Hong Ying, the 3 little saints, Yang Wu did not have time to pay attention to them. If they were willing to follow him, he would allow them to return with Qing Feng. If they were not willing to follow him, he would let them go. Fei Hu, Hong Mo and Hong Ying all knew that Yang Wu's origin was extraordinary. They also knew that Yang Wu and little Nan Nan had obtained a primordial treasure. Their futures were limitless. They did not choose to leave. Instead, they were willing to follow Yang Wu and serve him. Yang Wu let them follow Qing Feng back to the War Clan realm. Before leaving, Yang Wu had to tell Qing Feng something. Otherwise, she would follow him. The two of them were alone in a room, isolated from the outside world. Yang Wu went straight to the point and said, "Elder Sister Feng, I'm going to cultivate with my master and will return to the Yang family after a while. You don't have to follow me." No. Qing Feng decisively refused. Qing Feng was the incarnation of the Luan Feng. She was extremely beautiful and tall. Her blue feather robes accentuated her curvaceous figure. She was a beauty that could move any man's heart. "You have to," Yang Wu said with the spirit of a master. Qing Feng's murderous aura was overflowing. She was a beast saint and Yang Wu's guardian. Before Yang Wu grew up, she would not listen to him completely. "My teacher is a heaven-piercing expert. You don't have to worry. Grandmother's lifespan is almost up. You should go back and take a look." Yang Wu lowered his voice. Qing Feng looked sad and said, "Grandmother told me to leave. She didn't want me to see her pass away. When you go back and pay your respects to her, tell her that I'll take a few more heads of the Xing clan for her," Yang Wu said seriously. He paused and said, "My teacher is from the Heaven Palace. Grandmother knows that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to leave the Heaven Domain mountain range so easily. I won't play around with my life." Qing Feng narrowed her eyes and said, "Then I'll wait for you in the clan." After a pause, she added, "Come back alive." "Thank you, Sister Feng," Yang Wu said sincerely. Just like that, Yang Wu and Qing Feng went their separate ways. Even though Yang Zhenlong begged to go with Yang Wu, he was forced to leave by Yang Wu. This time, he wouldn't be able to go to the Xing clan. He couldn't take them with him. Before they separated, Yang Wu repeatedly urged them to cultivate well and not slack off in the slightest. After Yang Wu finished explaining everything, he quickly left the Heavenly Domain city, preparing to meet up with his master. Just as he left the city, he sensed that someone was following him. He shouted, "Come out, you scoundrel!" After he finished speaking, 3 figures rushed out and stood in different positions, forming a triangle and surrounding Yang Wu. They were the 3 guardian elders from the Purple Heaven Palace. The 3 protector elders had cold expressions, and their old eyes were filled with killing intent. They did not speak, but their auras rolled out, forming a powerful chi field that completely sealed off Yang Wu's path of escape. "Aren't you afraid that your holy maiden will be angry?" Yang Wu looked at the 3 of them and said calmly. He could feel that the 3 of them weren't weak. One was in the advanced dragon transformation realm, and the other 2 were in the intermediate dragon transformation realm. This kind of lineup was enough to kill a heavenly fish realm warrior. A dead person isn't worth getting angry over. Are you going to kill yourself, or do you want us to send you on your way? The advanced dragon transformation realm elder said coldly. You're saying the opposite. I'm the one sending you on your way. Yang Wu crossed his arms and said calmly. A mere heavenly fish realm trash dares to be so arrogant. I really don't know why the holy maiden would like someone like you. Maybe it's because you're born with good looks. Stop talking nonsense and send him on his way. The other 2 intermediate dragon transformation realm protectors said one after another. As they were talking, one of them attacked Yang Wu. Life-seizing hand. That person stretched out a sharp hand and grabbed Yang Wu's throat. A fatal attack that could sever one's soul. The intermediate dragon transformation realm protector didn't show any mercy. Their holy maiden had said that this person had some life-saving trump cards and couldn't be careless. Just as the hand was about to land in front of Yang Wu casually raised his hand and blocked the attack. The next moment, he said with a trace of killing intent, "You've sent yourselves to your deaths. Don't blame me." Yang Wu counterattacked, leaving behind an afterimage. His real body was already beside the Dragon Transformation Realm Protector, and his elbow slammed toward the Protector's heart. Bang! The Protector didn't even have the chance to react. His minor saint armor was shattered by the impact, and the powerful force entered his heart, turning it into a pool of blood. His body flew backward like a prawn bow, spitting out blood. His breathing was completely cut off. The other two Protectors narrowed their eyes, and a chill ran through their bodies. They subconsciously took a few steps back, and a word flashed through their minds. Run! However, would they be able to escape? Yang Wu moved like a ghost, catching up to the other intermediate Dragon Transformation Realm Protector, and swinging his arm toward the latter's temple. Barbaric God's arm. The force of this arm was like a mountain crashing down. The Protector's head was instantly smashed into a pool of blood, and he died without any room for resistance. How can he be so strong? The remaining High Dragon Transformation Realm Protector cried out in shock. Even he couldn't catch sight of that youth's figure. There was no way he could fight this battle. Even with his strength, it was difficult for him to easily kill his two companions, but that youth had done it. The youth's strength could only be stronger than his. He didn't hesitate anymore and fled. Survival was more important. If he lost face, then so be it. It wasn't a big deal. Yang Wu didn't give chase. The falling moon bow appeared in his hand, and the bow was fully drawn. A blue light gathered on the arrow, and it instantly shot out. The blue light was like a rainbow, and the arrow's momentum was shocking. It drew a beautiful arc in the air. Bang! The arrow exploded, and the Protector died.